Atmosphere at Wembley, largely Mickey Gray, created by the Coventry fans. We're looking out at Wembley and the flags are flying, blue flags are flying to the right, and it's fairly quiet to the left, isn't it?
Very, very quiet, Adrian. A lot of empty seats. I hope they get to their seats within the space of the next 3 or 4 minutes in the United end, without a doubt. Oh, you look to the right-hand side and they're certainly enjoying their moment. The Coventry City supporters, aren't they? Everybody's got their flags out, waving around. They're making it a fantastic atmosphere in the stadium.
I was going to ask you about a player who Coventry have got up front, who you have seen many times. Ellis Sims was at Sunderland. I think the Sunderland fans liked him as well.
Yeah, they did. He was more used as an impact player than anything else. But he certainly knows where the back of the net is. I think he's grown in stature over the last couple of seasons. He went back to Everton, if you remember, and had a couple of games for them last season. But I think since he's came through the door at Coventry, certainly over the last 2 months, the goals that he's got have been absolutely phenomenal. He's a goal scorer, he's a poacher. He's not blessed with incredible pace, but give him an opportunity, more often than not, he finds the back of the net.
And it could be, as we were talking earlier, pace that might cause Manchester United a problem. They do have it out wide, Coventry, but if it's down to fans, Coventry are through the final already.
Well, they're 1-0 up already, Adrian, aren't they? You say they've come into this stadium, they want to enjoy every single moment of it, and rightly so. What a journey they've been on. When we were pitchside earlier on, we were just touching on Mark Robins, and what an incredible job he's done at this club.
And I've got to say as well, I was here for the playoff final, Championship playoff final. That was Coventry, and it was that side, Luton, the other side as well. That was a sea of orange. The colour was phenomenal. It literally was half the stadium blue, half the stadium orange. I just think it's a little bit of a shame that Manchester United haven't replicated that by just getting red flags out, it being a sea of red. But fair play to Coventry, who are now unfurling a massive tifo behind the goal. We'll go back to Dave Rowe in just a moment when they've finished unfurling it, and he can tell us exactly what is on that tifo. Might be difficult for him to spot at the moment, Dave, but it's a huge flag they've got there.
This flag is being unfurled from the base of the stand behind the goal. It's carrying imagery of, I think, supporters and players in Coventry kit, and it's could actually cover, I think, the entire tier in front of me. There is a message on the bottom, which unfortunately I can't... yes, it's We Live and Die in These Towns. That's the song I was referring to earlier from the Enemy. But they've taken on really as their anthem this season. The fans absolutely love it, and that's going to cover this tier. I think as the players walk out, the fans below that banner aren't going to actually see the players walk out. But again, Coventry fans creating something special here.
Special has been the operative word. It's a city of music as well. The Enemy, King, I think, were from there as well back in the 80s. Quality, Love and Pride, and the Specials, of course. I think Stuart Pearce made that joke about Ghost Town. I think I've just about got that joke as well. But yeah, fair play. The Coventry fans pulled out all the stops and flags this afternoon. There's a big red devil behind the Man United goal. They've finally joined in, the United fans, as the players make their way out onto the pitch. It's big for both sides. For Man United, it's no good beating Liverpool 4-3 in the quarter-final if you get knocked out by a Championship side in the semi-final. Mark Robins and Coventry don't care about reputations, and neither does the FA Cup. It's Coventry against Manchester United, live on Talksport. Winner meets Man City in the FA Cup final. Here's your Coventry team of former FA Cup finalists, Stuart Pearce, alongside Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Adrian, and a very good afternoon to you. And in a week where the fabric and format of the FA Cup has been tampered with again, a timely reminder of what this wonderful competition means to fans, especially those of us from outside the elite. Provides the chance to indulge footballing fantasy, to rub shoulders with the big boys in fixtures you'd never otherwise see, to carve indelible memories. How Coventry can relate to that, from their most famous of days here in 1987 to being on the other side of the coin, on the other side of town at Sutton's Gander Green Lane. And now, a decade after losing to Worcester City, they're playing at Wembley for the chance to meet Manchester City in the final. And whatever happens here, their fans will never forget it. Whilst the other three semi-finalists can boast a combined 78 appearances in the last 4, this is only the second time Coventry have ever made it this far. And many of those here today, swathed in the famous sky blue, will have been born after the last one. And if you throw in their journey from the last semi-final to this, it adds another layer to their pride at the occasion. Those 37 years have brought a fall from the Premier League to League 2, home games in Northampton and Birmingham, administration and doubts over their very being. To be back on this stage testament to the achievements of many. But that's not to suggest that United's relative familiarity with the semi-finals breeds contempt, because this is their season amidst the disappointments of Premier League and Champions League. A last potential crumb of comfort to grasp. Victory in an FA Cup final against their city rivals wouldn't paper over the cracks, but it would offer some very memorable solace. Well, today United have Onana in goal, Dalot, Casemiro, Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, McTominay and Mainu, Garnacho, Fernandes and Rashford, with Højlund up front. Collins is in goal for Coventry. The back four of Vladdy Bodier, Thomas, Kitching and Bidwell, Eccles and Sheaf, Van Erwijk, O'Hare and Wright, with Sims up front. And the referee is Rob Jones, who officiated United's exit from the League Cup earlier this season. Stuart Pearce alongside me. Stuart, good afternoon to you. A special occasion, it goes without saying, for the Coventry fans, for many of the Coventry players as well, who haven't ever played here before and certainly haven't played in a cup tie of this magnitude. How much does that have an effect?
Well, I think if they look around the stands and see the support that they've taken from the Midlands down here, it's been absolutely incredible. They're going to have to draw on that support. Don't let the occasion get to them. They're up against a very good side. A lot's been said about United. The one thing they have got, good attacking threat, good pace up front and goal scorers. They're going to have to nullify that and trying to impose their game that they've caught the eye in the Championship and on this cup run doing.
So there's Casemiro alongside Harry Maguire. Casemiro, who's got plenty of experience. He's played in El Clasico in this position. And his partnership with Maguire could be one of the keys today. Well, on each of the last three occasions that Coventry and Manchester United have met in the FA Cup, the winner has gone on to lift the trophy. A May date with Man City will provide the chance for that to happen again. So, will it be United in back-to-back finals, or the Sky Blues in their first since the 80s? We're underway. Manchester United, red shirts and black shorts, and they're kicking from left to right towards the end that houses the Coventry supporters. And Coventry in sky blue and white striped shirts. So that's the front of the shirt, just a solid sky blue back. Andrew Wright almost up top alongside Ellis Sims in these early stages, with O'Hare playing in behind the number 10 role in a 4-3-1-2 formation. And Coventry do have the option of just dropping a player back in at centre half to make it a 5 when they're out of possession. Long ball over the top. Van Erwijk will chase after it. Marcus Rashford herring forward. And he's trying to backheel it into Van Erwijk. Didn't get the touch that he wanted. Goes out of play for a goal kick. That'll be taken by Coventry's Brad Collins away to our right-hand side. We will, of course, keep you up to date with everything that's going on elsewhere. And there's been a breaking in the deadlock at Villa Park. Natalie Pye.
Villa 0, Bournemouth 1. It was a penalty. Matty Cash took out Kirkes in the box. A stonewall penalty. Up steps Dominic Solanke for his 18th Premier League goal of the season. Martinez could do nothing. Villa 0, Bournemouth 1.
And the teams are out full of Liverpool. Ollie Cliff.
The big news here, Jim, is that Mo Salah is on the bench for Liverpool this afternoon. He's one of 5 changes, with the likes of Quansah, Endo, Gravenberch, Elliott and Jota all coming into the side. Just one change for Fulham from their win over West Ham. De Cordova-Reid comes in for Willian.
And a reminder that Palace lead West Ham by 3-0. It's Everton 2, Forest 0 in the last knockings there. And we'll get full-time details from Goodison in a moment as Coventry hook the ball forward here. Casemiro coming to meet it. Just skewers a ball to his left-hand side for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now Bruno Fernandes able to bring it through the midfield and out towards Wan-Bissaka again. He will exchange passes with Mainu and then play down towards Rashford. Coventry with everybody back behind the ball in these early stages as United try to make some early inroads. And Mainu might be able to do that. He'll get to the left-hand side of the box. It's half cleared. Out for Fernandes. Dalot steps over it. It falls for Garnacho, whose left-footed shot is blocked. And Coventry will be able to bring it away. Another goal of Selhurst, Ian Abrahams.
31 gone, Palace 4, West Ham 0. Ball in from the left-hand side, and Jean-Philippe Mateta slid it home from 6 yards out. Palace 4, West Ham 0.
Well, it was the first time they'd scored 3 in the first half of the game in the Premier League all season, and they've now got 4 in barely half an hour. Palace 4, West Ham United 0. As Coventry bring the ball forward for the first time, trying to get Ellis Sims isolated against Maguire, whose sliding challenge is impeccably timed, and it's a Coventry throw.
Yeah, Jim, I'm just looking at this Coventry lineup, and out of possession, you would almost be forgiven to think they're playing a 5 at the back there. It's almost a flat 5. That changes, obviously, when they go into possession, but it's almost a 5-2-1-2 scenario.
Not the first time that they've done that. Great versatility preached by Mark Robbins. They'll often play with 3 centre-halves or a flat back 4. What they have been able to do with this throw is flood the Manchester United penalty area. It's a good long throw that comes in. Both the centre-halves, Thomas and Kitching, were forward for it. Might break for Hadji Wright on the left-hand side of the box. He's done well to hook his left foot around it and get it in. But as United clear, Garnacho is there with a clever touch. And then Fernandes, Casemiro and Mainu should be able to play their way out of trouble for United. It will go from Dallo inside the 6-yard box for Onana. And that was neatly and skillfully done by the United back line.
Yeah, as I say, the long throw coming there, United will be disappointed. It's obviously bounced across the 6-yard box and then just went beyond. Thomas couldn't retrieve it.
Now we'll try and get Hoyland going on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Ladi Bodier has gone out there with him. Former Manchester City man. It'll be a very special occasion this for him on a number of reasons. Rashford takes over, darting inside the box. Low skidding effort that was blocked. Falls for Fernandes, who turns and toe pokes it outside the penalty area for Diogo Dallo. Now coming forward onto it is Garnacho. Will drop his shoulder and will take on Kitching, and he got it in dangerously. Thomas slices it over his own bar for the first corner.
Yes, say Thomas got fortunate there. He's just poked a leg out, and he's almost, well, he's gone at it with his right foot where a left foot clearance might have been better, and it's just gone over his own crossbar.
So it's a corner, first of the game, which will be taken on the Manchester United right. You're with Talksport, and still 0-0 in this second FA Cup semi-final, playing for the right to meet Manchester City. Fernandes with a long hold, right arm above his head, now addresses the ball, swings it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Very good defensive header, and O'Hare can volley it further clear. Well, it'll be picked up by Onana on the edge of the centre circle, and O'Hare chased after it himself. Long ball punted forward, dangerously flicked on, and Garnacho on the stretch couldn't get the angle right as he tried to just skewer it into the bottom right-hand corner to give United the lead. That was just one long straight ball over the top. Excellent flick on from Fernandes, and the Sky Blues back line turned horribly.
Yeah, you described it really well. Literally a long ball from the goalkeeper, flicked on, and then Garnacho stretched for it instead of, I think, maybe composing himself potentially and taking a touch if he could have done. Yeah, I think if he lets that bounce, he's got more time than he thinks.
Kitchen, nice touch from right. O'Hare will be able to help it forward. Bidwell's ball inside the penalty area took a nick off Dallo. That took the pace out of it and made it easy for Onana to come out and pick it up, and he will bowl it out quickly towards the left-hand side. It's a beautiful day here in North London. Typical cup final weather, if you like, with about a third of the pitch bathed in sunshine, the rest in mid-afternoon shadow. United swing another ball from left to right. That one not too long for Garnacho. The angle wrong on the delivery from Marcus Rashford. Sails out of play for a Coventry City goal kick. In front of our pitch side reporter Dave Rowe. Dave?
Yeah, 2 occasions so far where Garnacho has had the better of Kitching. That chance moments ago, he did snatch at it when he had the space. He got away from the flick on. There'd been a moment earlier when he had the pace to get the better of Kitching. That's one concern for Coventry, who have got Ladi Bodier very much playing in a back three, especially when they're under pressure.
And they're under a little bit of pressure here as Ladi Bodier plays it to his goalkeeper. Collins is able to clear. Now towards the right-hand touchline for the Sky Blues. They'll just take a touch. Van White goes back for his goalkeeper again. Let's get full-time details. A big win for Everton, Graham Beecroft.
Yes, Everton 2, Nottingham Forest 0. This was as nervy and mistake-ridden a game as we expected. Bags of controversy, and Beto of Everton stretched off at the end. Both goals were similar. Shots left-footed from outside the penalty area. The first from Idrissa Gueye, less convincing than Dwight McNeil's beauty. It finished then here, Everton 2, Nottingham Forest 0.
Yeah, sounds like a bad one for Beto. We'll keep you updated with exactly what the medical prognosis is for him as Coventry make their way forward and win their first corner, to be taken by Jake Bidwell over on the far touchline. He's one of only two in this starting lineup today who started the playoff final 11 months ago against Luton. So Bidwell to swing this in. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger from the far touchline. He's curved inside the 6-yard box, easily headed away by Casemiro. Falls for Eccles, and he can't play the best ball. Out past Bidwell, the corner taker, for a throw which will be taken on the Manchester United left. Still 0-0.
I've got to say, we've got a fairly open game here, and Coventry, every time they've had the opportunity, they've gone through the gears, set sail for United's goal and played good balls in behind and tested the United backline already. You can see the threat there on the counter-attack.
None of this Coventry squad had ever even reached an FA Cup quarter-final before. Since their relegation from the Premier League, they've got a half-decent record against sides from the elite. 4 wins, beating Blackburn in successive seasons, Stoke in 2018, and then, of course, Wolves famously a month ago in a magnificent quarter-final. One of the best FA Cup ties I've ever seen, but as it transpired, not even the best of that weekend, with Manchester United beating Liverpool the following day in an all-time Cup classic. 2 extraordinarily good, highly drama-filled FA Cup quarter-finals, and the 2 winners meeting today. Harry Maguire in possession here for Manchester United, playing it back for Casemiro, just emerges into the sunshine inside his own half of the centre circle, playing it back for Maguire again. Almost inconceivable that United have been in a position because of injuries this season where they've had to field 13 different centre-half partnerships. 5 centre-halves and Luke Shaw, who can play there, 6th player, all out injured today. Wan-Bissaka playing it for United. Rashford getting to the byline, twisting and turning, pulling the ball back inside the box, which is easily cleared by Ben Sheaf. And then Coventry with bearded Sims has done well to be able to hold it up. It's a good jump. And Sheaf will make his way forward through the midfield here. As he showed for the return ball from O'Hare, it wasn't forthcoming. Poor challenge comes in the midfield. There's a foul on McTominay. Referee Jones plays the advantage. Garnacho, Bruno Fernandes, back behind square for Mainu. Dallow's in close support for him. Garnacho on the right flank showing for the ball, but it's gone the other way instead towards Casemiro, who will make his way forward. Still 0-0 here on Talksport. We've got 10 minutes behind us in this second FA Cup semi-final. Bruno Fernandes going back for Casemiro. Now Harry Maguire brings it forward. Wan-Bissaka making a good run down the United left. Just had to retrace his steps a little because it wasn't the best quality pass to find him. Maguire able to bring it forward again. Rashford turns it neatly round the corner. Wan-Bissaka's waiting for it level with the edge of the box. Back for Marcus Rashford. Coventry having to sit in, doing so very ably at the moment. Back it comes for Casemiro. Casemiro to Maguire. To Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka for Fernandes to Mainu. It's all within about 10 yards of the edge of the Coventry penalty area. Rashford flicking it on. McTominay trying to get himself into a shooting position. And Coventry will be able to clear as another goal goes in at Selhurst. Ian Abrahams.
5 to the break. Palace 4, West Ham 1. Come back on. Soufal ball in, nodded forward by Souček. And there was Mikel Antonio to prod home. West Ham will win this 5-4. Palace 4, West Ham 1.
There they go. Villa 0, Bournemouth 1. Fulham 0, Liverpool 0. Fulham against Liverpool, should I say, kicks off at 4:30. There's a good reason that it's 0-0, because it doesn't kick off for an hour. But we'll keep you up to date with everything that happens when it does eventually get underway. I think I covered my tracks pretty ably there. I don't think anyone noticed. Here's Maguire coming forward over halfway. Bruno Fernandes running towards the edge of the penalty area. Now on the left-hand side of the box is Rashford. Rashford will try and turn, got himself into a shooting position, didn't really get hold of it when he got the shot in. United able to recycle it. McTominay had made his way forward, but the cross wasn't deep enough to find him. Coventry on the break, right, nudging it past Casemiro. And that sensational covering from Dalot, because if Wright had got through there, Manchester United would have had a major problem.
Well, we've got an intriguing game on here at the moment. Coventry sat back in shape, United trying to find that little gaps between the lines to feed players like Fernandes to get turned and play through balls, which they're doing on occasion. Coventry have got the blocks in and around the box. Coventry, on the turnover, the ball goes forward, and it goes forward quickly, and they've got runners going in behind looking to receive the ball. So, an intriguing game.
Maguire playing the ball back for Casemiro again. The vast majority of the play concentrated away to our right-hand side in front of those Coventry supporters. I expect that to be the case. A game in which Manchester United will probably end up with the possession somewhere in the mid-60s. Fernandes had the ball at his feet, and he couldn't hide his dismay there as he was just waiting for a little bit of sharper movement to come from either Garnacho or Dalot, and it didn't, and then he just slowed it down to walking pace and diffidently threw a hand up in frustration at his teammates. When it is eventually worked forward, Coventry will be able to turn over possession, and O'Hare leads the latest counter-attack. And it goes towards Sims. Sims couldn't get the better of Maguire on this occasion. It's interesting, though, that Sims has detailed himself against Maguire in nearly every exchange, and he's left right to deal with Casemiro and Dalot and try and get in between the pair of them.
Yeah, it's almost a very split front two in many ways, and both of them are looking to counter-attack quickly. I'll tell you what I've enjoyed from Coventry's play as well. When they do turn the ball over, it's a clever pass like we've just seen just then. It's not a panic forward pass.
It was Ben Sheaf that time. The ball's played in behind Sims. Sims to right tried to turn. Bidwell had made a really good run to his left. Garnacho had come back though, and knowing that Wright was going to turn, he just nudged it off his toes, and then Ladibodiere is in there very strongly and has fouled Højlund, and he'll be the first player to be told off by the referee. It's nothing more than that, no caution, and it's a free kick which will be taken by Manchester United. Another former England international, Mickey Gray, alongside us as well. Mick, what have you made of the opening 15 minutes or so here?
Well, I think it's really interesting when you look at the two wing-backs for Coventry. When they get the opportunity to get over the halfway line, they're certainly doing so, because they know that Garnacho's not going to come back. He's not going to help out Diogo Dalot, and certainly Marcus Rashford over on that left-hand side is not going to do the same either. So you can see why they're trying to play this counter-attacking football, use the pace of the forward players, and they look a real threat when they go forward, I have to say. But that's not to say that Rashford and Garnacho haven't started the game pretty brightly. Every time they've picked up the ball, they've been direct, which is why it's been such an open start to the game. It's good.
The Coventry back line, incidentally, it is a 5-fanner, playing as a conventional right back. And then it's Thomas, Ladibodiere and Kitchen, with Ladibodiere as the sweeper. And then Bidwell out on the left of the back five. That's how they've lined them up. And then Eccles alongside Sheaf, O'Hare ahead of them, and split strikers Sims and Wright. So Manchester United bring it forward again towards the edge of the Coventry penalty area. McTominay finding a little bit of space in the central area, but the pass into him wasn't the best. Sheaf could just force him away. Maguire tries to clip one over the top. Thomas heads that clear. Chested down then by Bruno Fernandes. Still 0-0 with Kobbie Mainoo in possession for United. Which has been the way of it for the vast majority of the game, but as I've been telling you, in terms of the counter-attack that Coventry have, it probably plays into Sky Blue's hands to a certain extent to cede possession in this kind of area. Casemiro on it, just outside the centre circle, mainly getting it forward. Wan-Bissaka has come into a more central area and then receives that and turns the ball out towards Marcus Rashford on the United left. Back from him to Mainoo. It's Maguire again. Maguire forward towards McTominay. Now back inside the centre circle for Casemiro. Another goal at Villa Park for Natalie Park.
It's Villa 1, Bournemouth 1. It's come from Morgan Rogers, his second goal of the season. A beautiful shot from him on the left side of the box. He tricked it around inside the box to the right-hand side. Lovely goal for Villa. Villa 1, Bournemouth 1.
So 1-1 there still. All square here as well. United coming into this without a win in their last 4 games. And after an impressive run before that, they'd won 8 out of 10. Coventry had won 5 out of 8 before this, albeit that they've lost the last 2 away at Southampton and surprisingly 3-0 away at Birmingham City last weekend. They've made a solid start as well. Bidwell getting it forward, just chested off Haji Wright, Now to play for a throw that'll be taken on the Manchester United right by Diogo Dalot, and we're 17 minutes in here on Talksport. 0-0.
Yeah, United, they've got to be patient in their build-up, but they're looking to get players just behind Coventry's midfield line. Whether it be Fernandes, McTominay, Dalot on occasion. We saw Wan-Bissaka drift into that area. Garnacho's gone in there now. They're looking to feed that ball into there, get turned, and then from there freed out wide to the likes of Rashford.
So here come United again. 15 outside the penalty area. McTominay in towards Rasmus Højlund. Garnacho, Haji Wright, big, very physically imposing man. Garnacho was just about able to get past the United States international. United recycle it, and Maguire works it out towards the left flank here for Rashford. Down the line for Bruno Fernandes. Back in field from him to Mainu. Fernandes has got it again and misses Højlund with the ball forward. Coventry can mop up, and it'll be cleared by Collins. We've got plenty more live football coming up for you over the course of the week. United next in action against Sheffield United at Old Trafford on Wednesday. You won't hear it anywhere else on national radio, only on Talksport 2, a game that kicks off at 8 o'clock. Here's Rashford trying to get in, and a long ball that was poked forward, who's just slotted it past Collins, I think claiming with some justification it took a touch off a Coventry player on its way past the post. And Collins getting a hand to that. I think it's a good save, but a goal kick has been given, not a corner.
Yeah, I think you're right. Rashford's reaction suggesting as well he thinks the goalie got a touch. And I'm just looking the importance of Maguire and Casemiro either playing short balls through Coventry's midfield, or alternatively on that occasion a long raking pass behind the back line that got Rashford in.
Well, an extraordinary statement has just been issued by Nottingham Forest in the wake of their 2-0 defeat at Everton. It reads like this: 3 extremely poor decisions, 3 penalties not given, which we simply cannot accept. We warned PGMOL that the VAR is a Luton fan before the game, but they didn't change him. Our patience has been tested multiple times, and Forest will now consider its options. And that is an extraordinary statement from Nottingham Forest. Now, there'll be plenty of fallout to that, and that'll be something that we can hear your views on after this game. Nana Pardew and Majestic bringing you all the post-match reaction from here. We'll be hearing from Eric Ten Hag and Mark Robbins as well. You'll have your chance to have your say on national radio, but that statement from Nottingham Forest, so incendiary, I'm sure will be something that you will want to get your teeth into as well. 03717 223344 is the number for that. It's half-time in the Scottish Cup semi-final. We'll be there in a moment as Rashford bringing it forward here for Fernandes. Right-footed effort from him, and it hit Bobby Thomas as he retreated. The goalkeeper forced to try and make a save. He's back on his feet, Højlund clipping it in, and then it's steered away at the near post by Lanny Baudier, and out of play for another Manchester United corner. Well,
this is probably the first time in the game Coventry have looked a little bit lacklustre and loose in their playing out from the back. They give the ball away, that gives United the ascendancy with players, and that's something Coventry cannot do, because United will punish them.
Well, will they be able to punish them from this set piece? Bruno Fernandes goes out to take it. Garnacho stands, hands on hips around the edge of the penalty area. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 men in red inside the box. Maguire making a near post run. It was set back for Garnacho. Really well worked. He sliced across it and missed the top right-hand corner. But it was a close-run thing. Dave Rowe, our reporter behind that goal, have had a very good view of that. Very well-worked set-piece now.
Yeah, good corner kick there, and it was close. It didn't go too far wide of the post. Manchester United on top here. Lots of organisation going on in the Coventry back line. Brad Currency, goalkeeper Bobby Thomas, Lanny Baudier, all talking before that corner. Really started when United went long for the first time. There was that chance for Rashford. They're definitely on top, and Coventry trying to calm things down.
Thank you, Dave. Let's get half-time details from Hampden Park. David Tanner.
It's Rangers 1, Hearts 0. Jim Cyril Desser's got the goal after 5 minutes. I can tell you the Rangers goalkeeper Jack Butland protected that leader with a terrific point-blank save from Frankie Kemp. But at half-time at Hampden, it's Rangers 1, Hearts 0.
And half-time details in Birmingham, Aston Villa against Bournemouth. Natalie?
Villa 1, Bournemouth 1, and the Villa goal coming in injury time there for Morgan Rogers' second goal of the season. For Bournemouth, it was a penalty for Dominic Solanke's 18th Premier League goal of the season after Matty Cash brought down Kirkes in the box. It's Villa 1, Bournemouth 1.
Thank you, Matt. Yes, Manchester United bringing it forward 0-0 in the FA Cup semi-final, and Garnacho A foul by Kitching, who might just have caught him, potentially inadvertently. Whilst Garnacho was down, Garnacho is lying in some pain in the small corridor between the touchline and the edge of the technical area. He's now getting back to his haunches and will slowly get back to his feet. Erik ten Hag, meanwhile, has his arm around Diogo Dalot, just trying to get a bit of fine-tuning across and something that he's seen that he wants improving. And Dalot will take the resulting free kick and work it back for Casemiro.
Kitchen just making Garnacho aware that we're not playing Premier League rules here. This is Championship rules and we get away with a touch more.
The ball goes out towards the right-hand side for Garnacho. Garnacho's okay, back towards Dalot. Dalot, low ball fizzed in, and it's put in. Scott McTominay wheels away to take the celebrations. Great ball in from the right-hand side of the penalty area. McTominay coming onto it 6 yards out, and he's fired it into the roof of the net. Excellent, solid Manchester United pressure gets a tangible reward, and the sky blue travelling hordes temporarily silenced. Manchester United 1, Coventry 0.
Yeah, United have shown a bit more pressure in the last few minutes or so, and it was a wonderful ball across the face of the goal, took the defence out. The only person running beyond the back line, McTominay, slid it into an empty net from a couple of yards.
They look so much better, Stuart, don't they, when they get that overlap and fall back and get themselves into better positions? Because I think Coventry holding that flat back line with the five in midfield, it's been difficult for Man United to break them down, but over the last 2 or 3 minutes, Fernando opportunity, the Garnacho from the corner, yes, his shot wasn't great, but Diogo Dalot always looks better in the opposition's half for me. He's put a super ball in. I mean, McTominay, it's on a plate for him, you're not going to miss from there.
No, it's a great run and a great finish. The ball in behind. I think Collins, the goalkeeper, should have probably done a little bit better, maybe starting position slightly more aggressive potentially.
And Scott McTominay up into double figures for the season. He netted in the quarter-final against Liverpool and breaks the deadlock in the semi-final against Coventry. Manchester United 1, Coventry 0. Let's get half-time details now from Selhurst Park in Abrahams.
Palace 4, West Ham 1.5 to forget for West Ham, but to cherish for Palace, who were ahead on 6 minutes through Michael Elise's header. A wonder goal acrobatically scored by Ebrici as they followed, and then an own goal by Emerson Palmieri and a tap in from Mateta before Antonio pulled back what could be the start of a great comeback or a mere consolation. Half-time, Palace 4, West Ham 1.
David Moyes has had nearly 700 games as a Premier League manager. That's the earliest that one of his sides has ever been 4-0 down. Inside 31 minutes, 4-1 the half-time score. Villa 1, Bournemouth 1, and Everton 2, Nottingham Forest 0. A result from earlier. Fulham Liverpool kicks off at 4:30. And in the Championship early today, Sheffield Wednesday moved down to the bottom 3. They're a point above Birmingham, having won 3-1 at Blackburn, who themselves are still in relegation danger. They're only 3 points clear of the drop zone. Here at Wembley, it's the Manchester United fans. You can hear singing and applauding their side, leading by a golden hill. Is it a deserved advantage, Stuart Pearce, do you think, with the opening 25?
Well, I think the last 10 minutes or so, United have come into this game. They look more athletic, I think, than Coventry. Coventry had a few forays early on in the first 15 minutes, and since then United have grown in confidence, I believe, even prior to the goal.
The Sky Blues fans responding in terms of song. Away to our right, Harry Maguire finding Dalot. Dalot taking a touch, working it to his left. Fernandes out towards Marcus Rashford. Rashford can't find a way through past Eccles. He's still got the ball though. O'Hare coming back to try and put a challenge in. United working back outside the penalty area. Fernandes to the goal scorer McTominay. Wan-Bissaka forward for Rashford. Rashford's got Mainu in support. It was so nicely done by Van Erwijk to get it away. And then a free kick goes Coventry's way, just outside their penalty area. There's been a goal in the WSL. Jeff Peters.
It's Manchester City 4, West Ham 0. 8 minutes of normal time remaining. Laura Blinkilde-Brown off the bench, 6 yards out, left-footed. Very much game over. Man City 4, West Ham 0.
City 4 goals to the game. It was a 2:15 kickoff, that one. And this one a 3:30 start, so we're 27 minutes in. And Mark Robbins standing almost motionless on the edge of his technical area, surveying The Sky Blues performance. 70 games he had as a Manchester United player over 6 years as a pro at Old Trafford, with the goals coming at a rate of about 1 every 4 games, but some crucial ones, famously at Forest in 1990 and then against Newcastle and Oldham in that FA Cup run. He only scored 1 more FA Cup goal after that. It was 8 years later for Walsall against Gillingham, but a player who has played in an FA Cup final as a substitute in the first game of that 90 final against Crystal Palace. I'm hoping to mastermind an extraordinary FA Cup tale and get the Sky Blues through. Teams from outside the Premier League have lost their last 6 FA Cup semi-finals combined. The last non-Premier League side to win one was Cardiff, who beat Barnsley also in the Championship at the time back in 2008. Well, it gives you some perspective of the weight of history that Coventry are trying to overturn here. As Garnacho makes his way forward, flashes across through the penalty area. Van Erwijk's there first, and he will be able to take a touch and clear up towards halfway. Right, going up for it with Maguire, but it beats the pair of them and Casemiro takes control.
Yeah, I just get the impression now United can set the tempo of the game. They can slow it down when they want, they can speed it up when they want, and Coventry are just struggling to get a foothold in the game and get a foot on the ball, to be honest.
You're listening to Manchester United against Coventry in the FA Cup live on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus, please drink responsibly. Dave Rowe, what's the mood of the Coventry fans just behind you, away behind that goal in which Scott McTominay has given United the lead?
It has quietened down slightly, as you would expect, but they were under big pressure. Interesting that Manchester United have been attacking down the right in that spell when they've been mainly down the left in the early stages. Brilliant ball across, and whether Collins, the goalkeeper, should have got a touch to it, I'm not too sure, but crucially it was the first time a ball across really took out 2 defenders. That's why it went in.
There's Fernandes bringing it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Mainu tripping his shoulder, working it into the feet of McTominay. Garnacho can take over now. Little clip towards the far post. Collins comes out and just paddles that one down into the ground and is able to pick it up. Brad Collins, who has played in a cup semi-final in the past, we're hoping that this one goes better than that. He was part of the Burton side that was beaten 9 by Manchester City in the League Cup semi-final a few years ago. He's making his second appearance for Coventry in this FA Cup run. He started the quarter-final as well, the former Barnsley man. As Wan-Bissaka's got possession, he's drifted over towards the right-hand side just for a moment here for United. Player playing ostensibly at left-back. The other ones shuffle across one to accommodate that. Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand touchline, controls it, goes back for Onana, and now begins a slow jog from this side right out to the far side of the field again. And United will go back to a more orthodox shape. Bruno Fernandes brings it forward, finds Wan-Bissaka, still on his way back in the midfield, and he couldn't find Rashford, and he goes out of play for a Coventry throw. 29-30 minutes gone, and 7 minutes since the goal, no sign really of Coventry being able to start to mount fight.
No, the confidence looks as though it's been rocked a little bit. Even on turnover of possession, there's not that aggressive balls forward movement from the front line. And in defence, Coventry have got a flat back 5 dealing with 3, and that's leaving a lot of space. And the fact that United are outnumbering them in midfield and can just play it through them at will, it's breaking the heart of the midfield players for Coventry.
Those are the thoughts of one former England defender, Stuart Pearce. Here's another, Nicky Grant.
It's interesting, when you play wing-backs, you need to get them involved in the game as much as you possibly can and try and make the pitch as wide as you possibly can. At the moment, you can see Bidwell picking his ball up on the left-hand side. They've got a chance here, Coventry, to get out. But they need a bit of a breather because there's just an onslaught of pressure from United.
Now Bidwell working it inside the penalty area after an initial good run. Found Sims chesting it down. And Scott McTominay was a little bit rash as he made a challenge on Jake Bidwell, which has given Coventry a free kick, and this is a good position, Stu. It's only 6 yards outside the penalty area. It's left of centre, and it's predominantly out towards the left-hand side of the box, but it is a good opportunity potentially for a direct shot, or alternatively just to try and hoist one into the far post area, hoping something will happen.
Yeah, Onana's not expecting a shot, I don't think. He's got a one-man wall. Maybe Garnacho's about to join him. Rashford's just coming across now, so maybe that might be expanded to a three-man wall potentially, but Coventry needs something to drop their way at the moment. You can see their confidence ebbing slightly.
Well, it ends up being 3 in the wall, and in fact Garnacho is going to go down in the draft excluder position behind it. It's Van Eerwijk who looks the most likely to try a direct shot on goal. The right footer needed for that. It is a left-footed effort that is clipped in instead and just smacked straight into the wall. And Bidwell's attempt not the best. It's gone out of play for a throw which will be taken by Coventry, level with the edge of the Manchester United penalty area.
Just having a look at this throw. Bidwell's about to take the throw, and it's just a mass of United players and very few options for him to play. Coventry got the bulk of their players in defensive areas.
They threw it eventually back for Sheaf to Bloody Baudière, via the goalkeeper Collins to Eccles, and now out to the right-hand side of the Coventry back line for Bobby Thomas. Played forward, but a little looping ball goes straight out of play for a throw to Manchester United, who lead 1-0, and their city rivals in the WSL having an even better afternoon than that, Jeff.
Yeah, they're into the last minute here. It's Manchester City 5, West Ham 0. Jess Park, wow, what a finish. Edge of the box. They're heading for a 13th successive league victory. It's 5-0 Man City.
5-0 there and 1-0 here, Stuart.
Yeah, I'm just going to ask Mickey a question here. Does he think that a change of formation from Coventry is going to be helpful to them? Because at the moment they can't get a foothold or a press on United at all.
Stuart, you know how difficult it is when you're used to playing on a regular basis as a full-back, for then your manager to turn around and say, I need you to play as a wing-back today. Your positional sense changes, the system that you need to, as a wing-back, you need to get over the halfway line as much as you possibly can. You touched on it. They're a flat-back 5 at the moment because United have pinned them back. When they do get the opportunity to get themselves over the halfway line, it's a 60 or a 70-yard ball forward. And if Sims is not holding up or Wright's not holding the ball up, there's no outlet for them. So this onslaught from Man United is just going to keep coming. And I said before, the two wingers in Rashford and Garnacho, they're having a field day at the moment.
Are you advocating that a change should be made?
Well, I think something has to, because I'm looking at a Coventry team that are losing confidence in what they're trying to achieve, and the threat when they go forward has diminished slightly because they're having too long a spell without the ball.
Well, the last 9 games they have played with a back 4 on 5 occasions and with 3 centre-halves in the other 4, so they are used to sort of switching between the two. There has been almost exclusively an out-and-out back 5 for Coventry here, and when they do have the ball at the back, as they do here, a long ball that was played forward stood no chance of being able to find either a marauding wing-back or even either of the split strikers, and go straight out of play for a goal kick that will be taken by Anana away to our left-hand side. United in FA Cup semi-finals for successive seasons for the first time in 19 years. They have got a very, very good record in the last 4 of this competition. They've won 16 of their last 19 semi-finals. That includes 3 of the last 4. The last one that they lost against Chelsea back in 2020. Also beaten by Manchester City and Everton in the FA Cup semi-finals over the last 15 years. Remember, this only Coventry's second ever FA Cup semi-final. The first back in 1987 when they beat Leeds 3-2 at Hillsborough after extra time with goals from Ginn, Houchin and Bennett. And the final, the same scoreline, 3-2 after extra time that day as well. Just one of the most extraordinary FA Cup semi-finals that was played. That final against Spurs back in 1987. A long way to go in this, and Coventry have repeatedly shown over the course of the season that they never know when they're beaten, but at the moment they are struggling to get a foothold. Manchester United's 1-0 advantage is thoroughly merited on the strength of what we've seen so far. Ball headed on by Eccles, brought down by O'Hare. Heavy touch from him is cleared by Maguire. Van Eerwijk winning the seconds, now poking it forward towards O'Hare. Just for a moment, Sims was threatening to get goal side of Wan-Bissaka with Casemiro playing him onside, but Coventry couldn't get the ball in the right place for him, and United will clear and put it out of play for a throw.
There's just been a couple of occasions in the game where Casemiro's got his tackles just spot on, absolutely right. if he gets them wrong, they're in behind him, and he's got a big problem on his hands.
Sheaf back for Thomas. Last 3-4 minutes or so brought better Coventry possession, a little bit higher up the field. Here's O'Hare buzzing around, a player who's had a contract for the Sky Blues in the summer. His future may well lie elsewhere. Ball played back for Collins, his goalkeeper. He'll side-foot it out to Thomas, the one-time Burnley defender, and get it straight back again. Now Lafayette with a little 1-2 with his goalkeeper. Now to be played out through the midfield for Sheaf. They've done well. They've drawn the press and have been able to play through it. Now we'll be able to come forward here with Liam Kitching. It's a good run forward from Bidwell to his left-hand side. He couldn't find it. Coventry have got to get back in defensive position now, and Kitching has got some work to do. He's got to sprint to get back, with United bringing it forward. Bruno Fernandes. The momentum comes out of the counter-attack pretty quickly, actually, and Coventry have regained their defensive shape. Fernandes still in the midfield in possession and working it forward towards Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and back it goes now for Harry Maguire. Still United leading by a goal to nil here on Talksport. Coventry just about out of the playoff picture in terms of a promotion up to the Premier League this season. Talksport 2, the place to hear all of the crucial games between now and the end of the season in the EFL, including the next two for Leeds, who play tomorrow night at Middlesbrough and then Friday night at QPR. Both of those games kicking off at 8 on Talksport 2. Leeds up to second if they win tomorrow, and if they lose that, Leicester can be promoted on Tuesday if they beat Southampton, and we'll bring you that one as well. An 8 o'clock kickoff on Talksport 2. Leicester, Southampton the same. That will bring you Arsenal, Chelsea from the Premier League on Talksport. Coventry bringing it forward again. Bidwell in space on the left, but Eccles has got it and he's turned the other way. Back he goes for Kitching. It can be quite painstaking and deliberate, the build-up from Coventry in this kind of area at times. And now Eccles will try and maraud for. He's done really well. He's inside the penalty area. On a plate for Sims. He was stretching, and the defending was good enough from the retreating Dallow. And that's the best moment that Coventry have conjured up so far. They'll come again. Ball falling towards Wright. Wright and Sims combining. Headed on by Hadji Wright, but away from Sims. Through towards Onana. But the Coventry fans finding their voice infused by those two passages of play.
Yeah, they certainly were, and they should be as well. Fantastic passage of play and play through them. And I think it's come about, Jim, because United think they're in a game that's all about what we do in possession. And I'm seeing a team that don't really want to do the work out of possession when they do lose it. They don't go after Coventry, and they allow Coventry on the odd occasion to play through them. And I've got to say, Dallow has done absolutely brilliantly there, taking the ball off of Sims's feet.
Well, on that basis then, what do Coventry need to do in order to improve and capitalise on the chances that might come their way? Is it just about having a little bit more finesse around the edge of the penalty area, or have you seen something that tactically they should be doing to exploit?
Well, I just think the momentum that they go after United, I think United think they're in a game where it's all about just passing the ball around, you know, and listen, if we lose it, someone else will get it back. It's not my job, and that's the one good thing that will play into Coventry's hands if they get opportunities.
Mainu for Garnacho, shown inside by O'Hare, and he's been able to play forward here for Bruno Fernandes. Now Garnacho will take over again, and he's made his way into the Coventry penalty area. Back out for Rashford, good ball in. Hoyland was attacking it, and it came at an awkward height for Collins. It died on him pretty quickly, but he was able to scoop his hands underneath it and control it neatly, because any goalkeeping error there, the ball would almost certainly have fallen to a Manchester United player in a position to be able to capitalise and tap it in. But it remains just 1-0. Sheaf works it through the penalty area. Thomas has to come to meet it. Again, Coventry trying to draw the United press. Will be able to play it out from Latibeaudiere towards halfway. Dallow, though, heads it forward, and Mainoo's going to get there first for United. Half clear by Liam Kitching, but only as far as Dallow. Dallow working it out towards Wan-Bissaka, and Garnacho brings it forward again. Towards the edge of the penalty area here. Aaron Wan-Bissaka taking over, gets down towards the byline. United would love a second goal, and that little bit of insurance against the side who've scored a lot of goals this season. 19 of them in the FA Cup, which is the best of any side in the competition from round one onwards. It is a joint club record, and the most that any non-top flight side have scored since free-scoring Wrexham back in the late 1970s. Here's Wan-Bissaka. One might not be enough to win this for Manchester United, but the lead is merited. Here's Rashford. Rashford trying to get in. Cleared by Ladibodiere towards halfway. Just too high for Sims, so he couldn't get it to stick. Maguire clears it. And it comes back from Dallo to Fernandes to Højlund. Højlund trying to get away from Ladibodiere. Couldn't get a left foot shot in before the Coventry defender could block it. And then Eccles will play it back towards the edge of his own box where Thomas didn't really want it. But a first time little clip forward down to the Coventry left-hand side has got them out. And Bidwell and Sheaf will be able to get the Sky Blues going again. Still 1-0 to Manchester United. We've got 2.5 minutes to go to half-time.
Yeah, I've got to say that's impressed me, the way Coventry have shown a cool head, having defended for periods of time when they haven't seen the ball. Quite often when it does arrive at your feet, there is an element of panic there. Not with the Coventry players. They've been pretty good, nice and composed playing through the thirds.
Sheaf to Eccles. Eccles is inside the centre circle for Coventry and then can flick one down towards Bidwell. Bidwell running onto it. Cushions a header down towards Haji Wright. Wright, who scored 7 goals in his last 9 games for club and country, including that winner in the 10th minute of stoppage time at Wolves to book this FA Cup semi-final. Callum O'Hare takes over. He goes back for Kitching on halfway. Ladibodiere, the deepest of Coventry's outfield players, is played in. And now they have to go all the way back to the goalkeeper. And Brad Collins will punt it forward. High, hanging ball that loops onto the head of Maguire. Coventry winning more and more of the second ball now. A little bit long, the ball over the top. Sheaf trying to get right in behind the turning United back line, but the ball was too strong.
Yeah, I think the ball was to Bidwell, and it goes back to Mickey's point about getting Bidwell and the opposite wing back further up the pitch. They did that on that occasion, and that's the one that they've got to do. Get them further up the pitch if they can, and then decent balls. I think Bidwell was the pass on. Whether he just got it wrong or whether he's aiming for right, who knows.
Mickey, are you expecting that there's going to be a slightly more proactive Coventry approach in the second half, that they might flatten off to a 4?
Possibly. I think they were a little bit shocked, weren't they, Jim, after the goal went in for United, but they've calmed themselves down a little bit. I just think the quality's got to be a little bit better into the forward players as well.
Here's Diogo Dallo on the right-hand side of the Coventry penalty area. He's pulling back. No one on Rashford. It's an outstanding save from Collins. Rising drive, arrowing towards the top right-hand corner, and Collins has acrobatically leapt across his line and tipped it over the bar.
I've got to say, we've just seen the save that's kept Coventry in this FA Cup tie. If that hits the back of the net psychologically, I think that finishes Coventry. He's hit it with the side of his foot, he's curled it round the oncoming defender, and the goalkeeper's pulled off a magnificent save, going onto his top corner, flicking it onto the bar.
Yeah, that was some stop. And it keeps it at 1-0 to Manchester United. Their third corner, taken by Fernandes. An outswinger, headed into the bottom right-hand corner by Harry Maguire. And the respite was only a brief one. As the game goes into first half stoppage time, a free header for Maguire, 12 yards out, planted into the bottom right-hand corner, and that might just have wrecked Coventry dreams.
Well, the goalkeeper just having pulled off seconds earlier, a wonderful save to keep his team in it. His team have switched off. Sims has lost Maguire, the only fit centre-half. Well, he buried a fantastic header, I've got to say, and United will be delighted to go in 2-0 up.
It is his third FA Cup semi-final. He's lost the other two, but he might just have scored the one that has won this one for Manchester United, Mickey Gray.
Well, you want to see that more from Harry Maguire because of his physical presence. I do think he gets himself into good positions, but I expect him to get at least 6 or 7 of them a season. It's a great ball in from Bruno Fernandes, but centre forward, marking a centre half, how many times do you see it? Players switching off, free header for Harry Maguire, right on half-time. It just hurts. Mark Robinson have been hoping to get in at half-time, maybe at 1-0, maybe readdress what he can change for them to try and get back into the game in the second half, but that just makes it so much harder now.
It's his 10th Manchester United goal, and Dave Rowe, you'll have had a perfect view of it.
Yeah, certainly a goal that hurts Coventry big time, but the emotion from Harry Maguire when it went in the back of the net, you could see as he ran across to celebrate with his teammates. That means an awful lot to them. For Coventry, very, very frustrating after a brilliant save by Brad Collins that they switched off from what was basically a routine corner, fantastic save by Collins in the first place, but he wasn't helped out by his defenders, and Maguire's header puts United in total control.
McTominay midway through the half, Maguire right at the end of it. Half-time in the FA Cup semi-final. It's Manchester United 2, Coventry City 0.
Well, it's going to be some turnaround for Coventry City second half if they're to get through to the final. 2-0 down. That's second in the first minute of first half injury time. We'll get the views of Stuart Pearce and Mickey Gray in just a second, but it's full time in the WSL. Talksport's Jeff Peters.
Well, Manchester City are back on top of the table after thrashing West Ham 5-0. Layla Wahhabi gave them a first-minute lead, then Bunny Shaw scored twice before going off injured. She's now on crutches, which is a real blow for them. West Ham second best, but did hit the woodwork 3 times. Laura Blinkilda-Brown and Jess Park added late goals for a 13th successive league win. Could they win the title? Man City 5, West Ham 0.
It's still Villa 1, Bournemouth 1, Palace 4, West Ham 1. Both of those into the second half. Also in the second half in the Scottish Cup semi-final, not quite the classic of yesterday, Rangers 1, Hearts 0. And here at Wembley, live on Talksport, Man United lead by 2-0 against Coventry. And let's take a look at the half-time highlights in partnership with Carling.
The Emirates FA Cup half-time highlights on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup and Adobe Women's FA Cup. 18 plus, please drink responsibly.
Well, Mickey Gray, first of all, we were talking about Ellis Sims just before kick-off, and it's ironic, isn't it? First, 20 minutes or so, he's trying to target Harry Maguire, go at Harry Maguire, and then he leaves him all alone at a corner, which is why Harry Maguire has put Man United in control.
Bringing centre-forwards back into market at corners, Adrian, has always been an issue throughout many, many years. It's something that they don't like to do, so you don't put Ellis Sims on your strongest header of the ball nigh on half-time, because you know that Harry just needs to just shove him out the way, which he's clever at doing, and just get that little half a yard for himself. It's a brilliant header. But a centre-forward going back to mark Harry Maguire was a bit bizarre for me, especially when you're still in the game. They're 1-0 down at the time. It's a great ball in from Bruno Fernandes, but you just sensed they were waiting for that second opportunity. But going in at half-time, Mark Robins probably had his team talk. Listen, lads, we're still in the game. Just need to change up a couple of things. If we can do that, we'll get ourselves back into it. But that's completely changed the second 45 minutes now.
It has. Stuart Pearce, what do you expect Mark Robins is going to say? Because what they did in the first half clearly didn't work.
I think it's been fairly comfortable. I thought Coventry started the game well, and a couple of counter-attacks, and you thought, there's a threat here, a real threat. But United have been able to set the tempo of the game, I think. Maybe because of this flat-back 5 of Coventry's, that means there's a numbers overload in midfield. They can set the tempo of what they're doing, play through the thirds, and get the isolation of the likes of Rashford against defenders. I don't know whether there's going to be a change of a tactical lineup for Coventry, because as we stand at the moment, United can keep possession of the ball at their own tempo and run the clock down, and that can't be good for Coventry.
Well, they can certainly do that now, because they've got the 2-goal deficit. They've got that comfy blanket, if you like, and I'm sure that's Eric Ten Hag was probably saying to his players, or in his own head was saying, look, I hope we get this second goal, because then we can dictate what we want to do in this game. The system, I don't have a problem with Coventry's system, Adrian. I think if it works, we know it hasn't in the first half, but it's clever if you think 2 wing-backs against Marcus Rashford and Garnacho, who know we're not going to track back. So you can get yourself in a 2v1 situation down either flank if you're taking on Manchester United's full-backs in Wan-Bissaka and Diogo Dalot. But the problem they've got is because they're defending so much, their outlet ball is a 70-yard punt upfield, and if Sims is not holding the ball up, and if Wright's not getting hold of it, your players can't get up to help them. And that's the problem Coventry have had in the first half. At times when they did get in behind the midfield with Sheaf and Eccles, that's where they caused Man United problems. These two have not been tested in a sprint race. Harry Maguire and Casemiro, everything's been in front of them. There was one occasion, I think, when Wright got in behind Casemiro, but Dalot cleaned it up pretty well. I think you looked at that team sheet, Stu. I don't know if when you see Harry Maguire and Casemiro playing as centre halves, you say to your forwards, play on their shoulders, running behind them, and see how quick they are.
Well, that's the Achilles heel, especially when you look at Casemiro. But Casemiro's cute enough, and he's not dived in. When he has gone to ground, he's won the ball. What you've got to do if you're taking him on, make it a proper foot race, as Mickey's alluding to. push the ball 10 yards beyond him and say, let's have a go at this. Let's see what you've got. Don't keep it close to your feet trying to do it, because he'll pick you off with his brain power.
McTominay with the first, Maguire on half-time with the second. Man United are in control. They lead by 2-0. That was thanks to Carling, 18+. Please drink responsibly.
The Emirates FA Cup halftime highlights on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup and Adobe Women's FA Cup. 18+, please drink responsibly.
Got a Premier League goal in the second half of Villa Park. Natalie Pike.
Aston Villa 2, Bournemouth 1, and it's come for Diaby. It was a quick break from Villa down the left-hand side. Watkins did so well. Held the ball up, put his cross in, which is his 11th assist of the season, just to go with his 19 goals as well. Diaby timed his run perfectly. It's been end-to-end in the opening 13 minutes here. Villa 2, Bournemouth 1.
So 2-1 there. It is still 4-1 to Crystal Palace, and Rangers leading 1-0 in the Scottish Cup semi-final. In a moment we're going to be looking at an extraordinary statement from Nottingham Forest after they were beaten 2-0 at Everton. They're not happy with PGMOL. We'll give you the details and reaction to that next on TalkSport.
The Emirates FA Cup live on TalkSport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup and Adobe Women's FA Cup. 18+, please drink responsibly.
You may not know that you have the power to compare great loan deals with Compare the Market.
Oh, I've got one. Did you know there's no word that rhymes with wolf?
Carl, we're talking about loans.
But it's another thing people may not know.
Meerkat your loan with the power to compare. We'll check your eligibility without it affecting your credit score, with a range of deals available. Find a loan that's right for you.
Move, Zulf. Oh, wolf! Oh, no, that's the word.
Compare the Market Limited acts as a credit broker, not a lender. Credit is subject to status, UK residents and 18+ only.
Did you know Asda can deliver price-matched products right to your door? We've price-matched even more products to both Aldi and Lidl, whichever is cheaper. That means your meat, fruit, veg and more. Order your delivery at asda.com and discover our price matches. You won't have to lift a finger, except to click checkout. Asda, that's more like it.
Selected stores and lines for verification, asda.com/price match.
At 3 Business, we think you should get more for less. With our boundless business offer, the whole team gets unlimited calls, data, and texts. And the more SIMs you buy, the more you'll save. All on the UK's fastest 5G network. That's what we call big value. Search 3 Business or visit us in store.
Unlimited in the UK, based on Ookla speed test intelligence data H1 2023. C3.co.uk.
Sports. Join me, Graham Souness, with Jim White and Simon Jordan for the most opinionated football talk show on the radio. You were very cruel to me last week.
I know, it's hilarious.
I fell down when I left you.
It's like the jungle spreading a net over a hole. Bosh, down you went. A Monday triple threat.
Better looking, by far. Engineered for confrontation.
Walking into a press conference when you're a manager, the bear traps all over the floor. And I liken my experience here to that.
Graham Souness, tomorrow morning from 10 on Talksport.
Fascinated to find out what's been going on in that Coventry dressing room. They're 2-0 down at half-time here at Wembley in the FA Cup semi-final. Let's get the latest from Betfair.
Odds update on Talksport with Betfair. We're paying out winning bets at 90 minutes with 90-minute payout. Applies to match odds 90 market or markets with the 90 icon. Sportsbook exclusive. T's and C's apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Sam Rosbottom from Betfair. Man United 2-0 up and in control.
Yeah, they're absolutely cruising, aren't they? It looks as though we're going to have another Manchester derby in the FA Cup final. What was it? We waited 140 years and then 2 come at once, like London buses or something like that, isn't it? Anyway, look, the match isn't over, although Manchester United are 1-33 to see this out in 90 minutes. Coventry to pull off an incredible turnaround, 100-1 to win in 90 minutes. Coventry now out to 20-1 to qualify. The draw in 90 minutes is now 18-1. We do have a number of odds boosts available. One that stands out for me, Alejandro Garnacho to score or assist. That is now 5-2. He's looked lively in that first half. And of course, Adrian, we've got our charity bet builder raising money for the Bobby Moore Fund. We backed Manchester United to win. that's looking so far so good. We did also back Bruno Fernandes to score. We need him to get on the score sheet. He's 16-5 to do so in the second half. And we also put in there Ellis Sims to score. He's 4-1 to get on the score sheet. So fingers crossed that Fernandes and Sims can add to the score sheet, because we backed that charity bet builder at almost 14-1. So our £50 charity stake will return £737 if Fernandes and Sims score. Fingers crossed.
Great stuff, Sam. Thanks very much. That odds update is all thanks to Betfair. Returns accurate as of 10 minutes ago. For verification, see betfair.com. Over 18s only. Conditions apply. Go to begambleaware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Betfair. We're paying out winning bets at 90 minutes with 90-minute payout. Applies to match odds 90 market or markets with the 90 icon. Sportsbook exclusive. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Begambleaware.org.
Another goal at Selhurst Park. Ian Abrams.
It's Crystal Palace 5, West Ham 1, 18 minutes into the second half. Eze, the tormentor-in-chief, West Ham decided not to tackle him. Not a good idea. He put it through the legs of Zuma to Mateta inside the penalty area, and he scored his second of the game. David Moyes made 2 changes at half-time. He could have made 11, and it wouldn't have mattered. Palace 5, West Ham 1.
Right, let's give you this Nottingham Forest statement. They were beaten 2-0 at Everton. The statement reads, this is from Nottingham Forest official X/Twitter account. It says, 3 extremely poor decisions, 3 penalties not given, which we simply cannot accept. We warned the PGMOL that the VAR is a Luton fan before the game, but they didn't change him. Our patience has been tested multiple times. Nottingham Forest will now consider its options. Well, on that statement, let's hear from the Forest boss, Nuno.
We must understand the reaction of the club. We must understand, because we owe this to our fans. 1,000 people or more, 2,000-3,000 people, thousands of people travel. They are in City Ground. They need to be respected. The referees must know and assess that they are being bad decisions against us. Decisions that are costing us points, not only penalties. Just remember the final minutes, 30 seconds to go on the game against Liverpool. You know what I mean? So you must understand that we react like that.
But I just want to clarify, finally, you're talking about bad decisions.
Poor decisions.
But are you saying these are just bad decisions? You're not intimating there's something untoward going on here?
Look, if we were another country, we will start speaking about conspiracy. You know what I mean?
So you think we should be talking about conspiracy?
No, I don't. I'm not talking about that. But why always this? And then comes the answer from the panel that they have 1 week after, saying, no, you were right. You were entitled to a penalty, blah, blah, blah. But what's the point? It seems like they are playing with us.
Wow. Nuno saying it seems like they're playing with us. If we were in another country, we'd be talking about conspiracy. And they can't hide Forest from the fact that they are wondering what's going on. But the very fact they've said, we warned the PGMOL that the VAR is a Luton fan before the game, but they didn't change him. Stuart Pearce, you're an ex-Forest captain and manager. What do you make of what you've just heard?
Aid, I've got to say I'm a little bit astounded by what I've just heard, if I'm being quite honest with you. I think we pride ourselves on this country about the officials being honest. They may make mistakes on occasion, but they are honest people, I believe. To actually infer that you find out who someone supports before the game, and then, like being jury service, you can stand them down, is ludicrous in itself. I'm just astounded. I think every team in the league will make statements and say, we've had bad decisions on certain days. That's the nature of the sport that we're involved in. But to actually infer that the implications are there's a conspiracy against Nottingham Forest and they're close to my heart, I don't see that at all.
There will be more on this, and you can react with Madge and Pards when we're done here at Wembley. Second half is literally about to get underway. Man United lead 2-0 against Coventry. Here's your commentary team of Mickey Gray, Stuart Pearce and Jim Proudfoot.
Still trying to get my head around that statement and everything that it implies and infers. It is extraordinary, and we won't hear the last of that for a while. We're back underway here. Manchester United leading Coventry by 2-0 at the start of the second half. Oh, the Sky Blues in light blue and white striped shirts, and they're kicking from left to right. Manchester United red shirts and black shorts defending the end away to our right-hand side that houses the Coventry fans. And the ball is back with Onana away to our right. Manchester United with Onana in goal, Dalot, Casemiro, Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, McTominay and Mainu, Garnacho, Fernandes and Rashford and Højlund. And Coventry have changed the shape in this second half, and they have gone to what we were anticipating that they would start with, which is a back four of Vladdy Bodier, Thomas, Kitching and Bidwell, Eccles and Sheath, Van Erwijk, O'Hare and Wright, with Sims up front. So they have flattened off Stuart Pearce. They've moved Vladdy Bodier out of the middle of three centre-halves. He's playing at right back, and Van Erwijk one further forward down the right.
I think they've had to do something, had to make a change, otherwise United would have dictated the tempo. This will get an extra man further forward. Whether the press is going to be good enough to trouble United, time will tell. And I think the two holding midfield players have just got to split and play a little bit wider apart, potentially, looking up to pick at the individuals dropping into those holes, and Fernandes being one of them. And then you're leaving yourself a little bit more exposed in the wide areas, but your fullbacks are going to have to deal with that if they're going to get back in the game.
Now, those are the thoughts of Stuart Pearce. Mickey Gray is part of our commentary team as well, another former England international defender. Mick, no surprise that they've done it. Had they got any option, really?
No, absolutely not, Jim. And it was obviously something that we spoke about, and you just hope that it's going to help in the benefit of Coventry in this second half. But this is a problem for them right now.
With Rashford inside the penalty area, couldn't get himself into a position to unload a shot, and it's cleared. Mainu for Fernandes, and that's wide, and only just wide of the diving Collins, who was at full stretch, threw himself away to his left, and he was grasping at fresh air, but Fernandes' curling effort didn't quite do enough to get back inside that far post.
Well, as soon as it arrived at Fernandes' feet, we're right behind him here. You knew exactly what he was attempting to do, and he just didn't get enough curl on it. He's almost side-footed it with pace and dip, and it's just gone straight rather than just curling inside the far post.
4 goals in his last 3 games. He netted against City in the FA Cup final last season. And had that gone in, he would definitely have been in a position to have another crack at Manchester City in the FA Cup final this season. The City awaiting the winners of this, and that final will be live here on the Talksport network. The ball will be played forward towards Ellis Sims. Coventry masterminding an extraordinary fight back at Wolves in the quarterfinals, and they need something similar here at Wembley today, albeit that at the moment they've got longer to be able to perpetrate it. And they will bring the ball forward now with Bobby Thomas. Down towards Van Erwijk. Cleverly round the corner for Vladdy Bodier. And his cross hits Maguire. Goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Coventry right. Down towards the corner flag. John Vladdy Bodier, such a versatile player, as Dave Rowe was saying before the game. Can play at centre-half, can play at right-back, can play in midfield. Versatility called into action again here today. Coventry have wasted the throw. Rashford's going to be able to play his way out very ably. And now Fernandes to Højlund. And Rashford will continue his run. And he was goal side of Sheath for a moment, who was able to come back and recover. And then Rashford cleverly halted his run. Collision between the pair of them was inevitable. Just a little bit of afters as well once the free kick had been given. As Rashford trying to get back to his feet, and Sheath prevented that from happening immediately. So a free kick to Manchester United, about 2 yards adrift at the bottom left-hand corner of the penalty area as they look for goal number 3.
Yeah, as I say, the only plus for Coventry, I think, is United are easy to play against on occasion. But United proving just then, when they do turn the ball over, their counter-attack threat and the goals in the team are evident for all to see.
So Bruno Fernandes stands over this. Collins has lined up a 3-man wall. Now referee Rob Jones is just making sure that they don't surreptitiously shuffle too far forward.
This could be a touch sideways for Rashford, potentially.
It is exactly that. And Rashford from distance, through a crowd, but not through them all. It was cleared, and then Sims helps it further away before he's caught by Mainu, and a free kick to Coventry. Telegraphed a little bit, you read it well. I just rolled towards Rashford, was running onto it, hit it powerfully right-footed, but he had a lot of traffic to navigate.
Yeah, he did. As I say, the line-up from United there, Garnacho looked as though he was in as a blocker. And Rashford, and certainly in those areas, we've seen him score from there many, many times.
Ball out of play for a Manchester United throw, which they'll take in their left back position with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka taking the throw, arches the back, hurls it over Højlund. It's headed down and cleared by Lavi Bodier. Just a high up and under from him. Coventry looking to help it on again. Two Sky Blues players going for the same ball. McTominay is able to capitalise on that and bring it down. He's under a little bit of pressure from O'Hare, but can play it out towards the United right. And it's now played forward. Sliding change from Kitching was mistimed. United able to play round that. Here's Fernandes, clipped inside the penalty area. And the retreating Lavi Bodier heads it away. Another goal at Hampden. David Tanner.
78 minutes gone. It's now Rangers 2, Hearts 0, and it's a second goal of the game for Cyril Dessers. A 50-yard run by Todd Cantwell. The first shot from Dessers was saved by Craig Gordon, and he scored with the rebound. Rangers 2, Hearts 0.
So Rangers Celtic in the final, very much on the cards after Celtic won that extraordinarily absorbing game yesterday on penalties. And this one looks like being a Manchester derby in the FA Cup final in England. Manchester United leading by 2-0 to score the second goal. Maguire just goes back for his goalkeeper Onana playing out in this languid manner that he has. Forward towards McTominay. The retreating Garnacho is put under pressure by Ben Sheaf, who with great intensity was following him every step of the way. Van Erwijk is able to win the seconds. He's found O'Hare around the edge of the penalty area, and a right-footed snatched effort from Sheaf goes well wide. Half chance, but Coventry are beginning to get towards the domain where half chances are going to have to go in.
Yeah, I think Coventry look better on the press now. I really do. There's less gaps between the midfield. United are not able to play through them as comfortably as they did in the first half. The shape's certainly looking better. But as you say, Jim, when they do get the odd rogue pass or turn over a possession, they've got to do slightly better than that.
Onana just being given the hurry up by the Coventry fans behind you, Dave Rowe, as he wastes a little bit of time before taking this goal kick.
Yes, the Coventry fans most unhappy. Onana has taken at least 45 seconds over this, been told to get going by the referee. Fortunate not to get booked. Can also tell you, Jim, that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has arrived at the stadium, only recently taking his seat in the box. He's been involved running the marathon earlier, so he's made it. I think he missed the first 2 goals.
I'm not in a position to criticise anyone for coming late after a marathon that started at, was it 10:15? But listen, he's got round it. I wouldn't, so fair play, Sir Jim. And here to see good news as far as his side are concerned. 2-0 they lead. The ball is with Casemiro, played forward towards halfway, turned round the corner. Garnacho chasing after it up the right-hand side. And then it'll be cleared by Thomas. I'm told that Sir Jim just had a very long shower after the marathon. That was what caused the delay for about 3.5 hours. Here's Lavi Bodier. Right, we work back to him towards halfway. Coventry bringing it forward. Van Erwijk, absolutely essential from a Sky Blues perspective. They score the next goal. And Van Erwijk shown away from Wan-Bissaka. Now to come down for Eccles. Josh Eccles to his left-hand side. Liam Kitching bringing it forward. Garnacho back on his feet at the other end, had gone down for a while, and it's skewed away by Wan-Bissaka with Van Erwijk coming in behind him. So Coventry corner as another goal goes in, and Villa, Natalie Pike.
It's Aston Villa 3, Bournemouth 1, and it's another assist for Ollie Watkins and a goal there as well for Bailey. Watkins did so well. He played the ball round Neto, put a lovely ball in for Bailey, who simply had to tap it in. It's Aston Villa 3, Bournemouth 1.
3-1 to Villa, 5-1 to Palace. Everton beat Forest 2-0 in that controversial game earlier. As a corner comes in from the Coventry right, headed away by Maguire. Same end of the ground that he powered the last corner of the game into the net. Coventry work it back in. It's taken a touch off Wan-Bissaka on the edge of the penalty area. It's broken fortuitously for Fernandes. Fernandes trying to work it forward with the outside of the right boot for Garnacho's run on the counter-attack. Coventry able to get the defensive lines right and get that away. Now they will try and work it forward through the midfield for a swift run from O'Hare, but wasn't squeezed through effectively by Eccles. Coventry bringing it forward again with Bidwell over on that far touchline. Josh Eccles with his foot on the ball in the midfield. Down to Joel Latibodier. Van Erwijk coming in off the right flank. Nice shape on the ball in, but Harry Maguire with an excellent defensive header gets it away. Fernandes, McTominay with a good turn. The score of the first United goal goes back for Casemiro, who will clear towards halfway. That was just a question of thumping it upfield and getting it out of trouble. Coventry will come again.
Yeah, and a good thing for Coventry now, when you see them pressing, it's equal numbers, so United can't take liberties, can't play it around them as freely as they're used to doing. And Coventry are getting the lion's share of possession now out of it.
They trail by 2 goals to nil. United with a pretty decent record this season of being able to hold on to leads in games. 18 out of 25 games that they played this season where they've scored first, they have gone on to win. Here's Fernandes, down towards Rashford. Marcus Rashford coming forward with pace towards the edge of the penalty area. Bobby Thomas stops him. Can just flick it away. And then McTominay was beaten by Ben Sheaf, who got it past him, but he couldn't get it past Casemiro as well. The Brazilian clears, puts it out of play for a throw that we take on the Coventry line.
Just that little bit of experience then from Casemiro, just stepped in and took it off the toes of Sheaf, and it could have been a big problem if he hadn't have done so.
Throw taken by Lati Baudier, finding Van Erwijk. And now to go back towards Liam Kitching. We'll catch up with events in the opening 15 minutes at Craven Cottage shortly. Still Fulham 0, Liverpool 0 in that game. Coventry in possession here at Wembley, where the one patch of sunlight that was visible on the field in the first half is now completely gone. Pitch encased in shadow as Thomas works it back inside his 6-yard box for Collins. Made one wonderful save right at the end of the first half, only for United to score from the resulting corner. Van Erwijk back inside the midfield. Good ball played for by Eccles. Sims coming to meet it, knocks it back on towards Van Erwijk again. O'Hare is in space on the pocket on the edge of the D. It's a high aerial ball in from Van Erwijk instead, brought down by Haji Wright. He sets up Bidwell. Bidwell back for Wright again. Wright's 10 yards outside the box. Just retreats slightly. Goes back for Lati Baudier. Every United player between him and goal, and he curves the ball out towards the left for Jake Bidwell. The former Brentford man has lost it. Garnacho on the counter-attack, having won it back, might be able to bring it away. At Hoyland Square, referee Jones takes evasive action. Ball finds Fernandes. Rashford coming forward. Danger for Coventry. Rashford checking. Lati Baudier showing him inside. Breaks for Fernandes, whose shot deflects past the goalkeeper and in for 3. And that will be that. It's going to be a Manchester FA Cup final again for a second successive season. Coventry's brave, brilliant cup run about to be ended at Wembley as Manchester United go 3-0 up inside an hour.
Well, that phase of play showed what Manchester United are, and probably why their results have been inconsistent this year, probably is best to describe them. As Coventry attacked and got an even number, maybe even an extra man in attack, there was 5 Manchester United players just ambling back. But when they turned it over, they had those players available on the counter-attack, and they made it pay. And Fernandes, slightly deflected effort, ended up in the back of the net.
Yeah, Fernandes with an effort. Was going across the face of the goalkeeper. That was his intention. And Thomas tried to block it, and the ball just came off his inner thigh and went the other side of the goalkeeper, crept past his right foot and inside the post to give Manchester United a 3-0 lead.
Jim, that came from a Coventry cross. Van Erwijk on the right-hand side put the ball into the box and a little bit too much on for Haji Wright. They end up giving the ball away. Garnacho's done brilliant on the right-hand side to break towards the halfway line. Fernandes is clever to play that ball out to Rashford. And just at the perfect moment, yes, they get that little bit of good fortune, and Fernandes does it so many times. The slight deflection from his shot, but he just keeps it alive. And the last thing that Coventry needed, because they were just starting to grow into the game themselves.
Well, there's going to be some fight back from here. Van Erwijk trying to mastermind it, wins an early corner in front of our pitchside reporter Dave Rowe.
Yes, Coventry trying to hit back quickly. The problem there with that goal was when United broke away and Sheaf tried to stop Garnacho and couldn't. He tried to stop him every way he could, but Garnacho got away. They always had one man over from that point on. I can tell you that Mark Robins is about to make, I think, a total of 3 changes. Certainly Louis Binks is going to be coming on. I think Tavares too is about to come on, but that'll be after the corner.
And Torp is the third player, I think, who's just made his way off the bench as the corner comes in, half cleared, and then a right-footed effort whistles way over the bar from Ben Sheath, and out of play for a goal kick that'll be taken by Anana. Coventry still not in a position to make the triple change just yet. I think it's probably a minute or so away. Just a bit to get some fresh legs on, give a little bit of experience that some of those on the bench as well. They try and turn the game. Listen, if they can manage the momentum come back from here, it will be another one of the great FA Cup stories. United leading Coventry by 3-0 here on Talksport. And here's Garnacho coming into the centre of midfield, making a run onto it, chesting it down, playing it down for Rashford. Wan-Bissaka letting it run. Rashford's got it. He's got two ahead of him, including Garnacho, and Coventry will come across and be able to clear. Bobby Thomas chipping it forward. Mainu climbing high, got away from O'Hare. Wan-Bissaka doing well, got away from Eccles. Thomas was very quickly on the scene, but the Palace defender was caught. Managed a free kick which will be taken by United about 20 yards outside the box. And Coventry just waiting until they've defended this before making the change. Binks has just had a handshake from his referee. From Mark Robbins, his manager, just by the assistant referee. And Fernandez taking this free kick, clipped in towards the far post. It's headed down and coming onto his Garnacho, and then with the goalkeeper having dived away to his right-hand side, in no position to save the follow-up. He sees it sky over the crossbars. Another really good opportunity for Manchester United, and Maguire will be disappointed he hasn't scored a second.
Yeah, it's ended up falling to Maguire, and he's flicked at it with the outside of his right foot, and he's takes some doing to get it over the crossbar from there, to be fair.
So Coventry will make this triple change. While they do, we'll get details from Craven Cottage. Here's Talksport's Ollie Klink.
20 minutes gone, it's Fulham 0, Liverpool 0. Good early chance for Liverpool. Jim Luis Diaz with a flicked header inside the box, which ended up just wide of the left-hand post. Up the other end, Fulham have seen a Pereira free kick scrambled clear. They are growing into the game, but overall, a bright start from the Reds. Remember, they're looking to move above Manchester City and level on points with Arsenal with a win this afternoon. 20 gone here, it's Fulham 0, Liverpool 0.
Thank you, Ollie. And it remains 3-1 to Villa, 5-1 to Palace. So Kitching, Eccles and Lati Baudière are the players that have come off, and they've been replaced by Binks, Torp and Tavares. And Manchester United will be able to bring it forward with Maguire down towards Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka into a little bit of traffic in the midfield. Coventry working it well. Sims has done well to hold it up and then release O'Hare. O'Hare attacking the corner of the penalty area, down towards Tavares, and he's playing on the right wing now with Van Ooyk having dropped in at right back to replace Lati Baudière. Here's Ben Sheath. Van Ooyk again. O'Hare trying to wriggle away into space behind Bruno Fernandes, who's doing the covering job. Coventry able to bring it forward with Thomas. Thomas to his right-hand side. Sheath, who's playing a little bit deeper now. And towards Fabio Tavares again. And Tavares, an old-fashioned orthodox winger, has mishit that cross and screwed it, albeit via a deflection from Wan-Bissaka, into the side netting, and out of play for a Coventry corner.
Yeah, Coventry certainly, just for pride alone, need to get a goal or get something out of this game. At the moment, a little bit too easy for United. The timing of their goals have come at good times, I think, that second before half-time, and just when Coventry had some momentum in this second half, the third comes.
In comes Coventry's corner, the third of the day, headed away by Maguire, brought down by Garnacho, who's lost out, right-footed thunderbolt comes in from Victor Torp from distance, who proved in the cup tie against Sheffield Wednesday that he is capable of a spectacular. That one was blocked, and United will be able to bring it away with Garnacho, and all of a sudden he's at the other end of the field, and a high looping cross clears Rashford and the keeper, and goes out of play for a goal kick. So the three players that have come on: Binks, a centre-half on loan from Bologna, who's a product of the Tottenham Academy. He's played in Italy, he's played in Canada for Montreal Impact. So he has come on. Fabio Tavares got a couple of late goals against Mason in the 5th round. Also on, a player that's only started 4 senior games in his career. And Victor Torp, the Dane, signed from Salzburg in Norwegian football in a £2 million deal back in January. So there's the 3 Coventry subs. And Man United making their first now. Garnacho coming off, and he's going to be replaced by Anthony for the remaining 25 minutes as United lead 3-0.
Yeah, United will be just looking to see this game out now, I think. A possession-based last 20 minutes would suit them rather nicely.
So play restarts with the goal kick. Taken by Collins. Now work forward towards Binks, who's playing at centre-half now alongside Thomas. They then go from back to front very quickly, more quickly than they have tended to do through the game, trying to get Tavares in behind Wan-Bissaka. He is quick, Fabio Tavares, but there's no chance of being able to get on the end of that. Well, midway through the second half, as near as makes no difference. Mickey Gray, what are you expecting to see from Coventry in the last 25 minutes? How can they, if they are going to be able to engineer something spectacular, how do they go about it?
Well, they'll be hoping that the changes make a difference. Certainly on this right-hand side with Tavares, he looks a little bit of a live wire, doesn't he? But United have done pretty well with him so far because they've doubled up, and Wan-Bissaka, we know, in a 1v1 is pretty much as good as anybody in the Premier League. But what I've been interested to watch in the second half is how many players, when Coventry have got into the final third, they've got more bodies into the box, which gives them a better chance. I know they've conceded goals in this second half now, but it's just so difficult when you find yourself, that second goal was the killer just before half-time, coming out in the second half, trying to take the game to Manchester United and not really had that clear-cut opportunity, that quality in the final third just being lacking.
Here's Victor Torp. He's faced up by Wan-Bissaka, brings the ball down towards the right-hand touchline. And it's laid back for Van Erwijk. Coventry will turn through the midfield with Sheaf doing well to find Tavares, who's stretched and bring the ball under control. Van Erwijk whistles a cross in, and a diving header from O'Hare goes wide of the near post. The late consolation for West Ham. Ian Abrahams.
Palace 5, West Ham 2. It came a minute from the end, and it's an own goal. Tyreek Mitchell 40 yards out, passing it back to his keeper, hammering it back to his goalkeeper, but Dean Henderson's taken his eye off the ball and is dribbled apologetically into the net. Palace 5, West Ham 2.
So, an all-Manchester FA Cup final on the cards and an all-Old Firm clash on the cards in the Scottish Cup final. David Tanner.
It's finished. Rangers 2, Hearts 0. Rangers have never lost to Hearts at Hampden. That record remains in place thanks to a goal in each half from Cyril Dessers. Yes, as you say, Jim, we have an Old Firm Scottish Cup final to look forward to for the first time in 22 years. Rangers 2, Hearts 0.
So victory for Rangers, courtesy of those 2 Cyril Dessers goals earlier in the Championship. Sheffield Wednesday won 3-1 at Blackburn, making that relegation fight in the Championship all the more intense. Birmingham back down into the bottom 3 as a result of Wednesday getting out of it. We've got live EFL action coming up for you this week on the Talksport network. Middlesbrough leads tomorrow on Talksport 2, leads up to second if they win. If they lose, Leicester get promoted if they beat Southampton on Tuesday night. And then Friday night, it's Leeds at Queen's Park Rangers in the Championship. All of those games live and exclusive to National Radio on Talksport 2. Plenty of Premier League action coming up as well. I'll run through that for you in a moment. Van Erwijk in possession for Coventry, who are still waiting for their first shot on target of the day. Ball is down by the corner flag with Tavares. Tavares trying to trick his way past Wan-Bissaka. Van Erwijk, who just tackled himself, just fell over and then gets back to his feet. It's a good 1-2 with Tavares. Now the ball played in. O'Hare gets it out from underneath his feet. And Maguire just very strongly muscles him out of the way, and it's a goal kick.
Well, certainly there was a disparity in sizes between O'Hare and Maguire just leant on him, and O'Hare got lower and lower to the ground. Just prior to that, O'Hare was unfortunate with the Keith Houchin-esque diving header. I'll tell you what, on another day, this might well have been given. Maguire had his hands all over him.
Peter Banks is the VAR. The incident will have been looked at, but Mr. Banks obviously decided there was no clear and obvious on-field error from Rob Jones. If you haven't heard the news, incidentally, Nottingham Forest have written a very incendiary statement as the ball comes in here, and Sims has pulled one back for Coventry. Fabio Tavares delivering from the right, and as Sims coming onto it, and Coventry's goal machine in 2024 has what might end up being a consolation, but it might just be the genesis of a fight back. Sims, 20 minutes to go, 3-1.
I'll tell you what, wonderful ball in from Tavares, and Sims had a lot to do still, and he swept it straight into the near corner of Onana. Couldn't do anything about it. Just what Coventry needed, a lift in this game. It's 3-1 now, and Casemiro struggled to identify the danger early enough.
Ellis Sims with his 6th goal in his last 3 FA Cup ties. It's his 15th in 14 games all told. Mickey, come back on.
Well, it'll certainly get this back line of Manchester United thinking. We talked about an impact of players coming onto the field, and Fabio Tavares, whenever he's picked the ball up, he's looked to take on Wan-Bissaka, and on this occasion puts a very good ball to the near post. I just can't believe how much space Ellis Sims has got. There's nobody within 5 yards of him. Take nothing away, it's a super finish. It's an instinctive finish. First time, it more comes off his shin than his foot. But as soon as he made contact with it, he'd give Onana absolutely no chance. Another goal would certainly make it interesting, wouldn't it?
Well, Manchester United made a change immediately on the back of that. They brought Eriksson on in the midfield for Mainu. And the celebrations behind you, Dave Rowe, absolutely rapturous as that goal went in.
Oh, it's certainly woken up the Coventry crowd. They're attacking down the right-hand side with Tavares and Van Oeck. It was a great ball in, good finish by Sims. Always thought Coventry would score a goal here, and well, can they get a second now? United have to switch back on.
And they will try and push forward through the midfield, but it was a poor ball as they look to try and implement a 4 against 3. Anthony missed Fernandez, and he goes out of play for a throw that will be taken on the United right-hand side as Coventry clear. Yeah, if Coventry could score 1 more, you just never know. Remember, in the quarter-finals, 6.5 minutes of stoppage time played, they were 2-1 down at Wolves, and they scored twice from that point on to win it before it even went to extra time. So they never know when they're beaten. Well, this would be one of the great FA Cup stories. It's certainly one of the most extraordinary matches of Coventry City's entire history, if they can even get this to extra time from here. The 3-1 down now, with Sims pulling 1 back. United work the ball out towards the far touchline. Hadji Wright has done well. He's got the better of Dallow. Comes back through the midfield. The Sheaf and Bidwell combining. And this is a Manchester United side that have faced more shots than any of the other 92 Football League clubs in 2024. Just the 1 on target from Coventry so far today. They've scored from it. And will it be the catalyst for an almighty comeback? United bring it forward at the other end with Christian Eriksen. Ball in from him. Rashford taking it on, trying to get round Binks. He can't do that. Binks forcing him back outside the penalty area again. He chips it in. Goalkeeper Collins comes out and catches it. And now we'll whack it forward high, upfield over halfway, looking for Ellis Sims. Maguire beats him in the air. Deadlock broken at Craven Cottage is Ollie Klink.
It's Fulham 0, Liverpool 1. A fantastic free kick from Trent Alexander-Arnold. He was left of centre, 25 yards out, and he has whipped it into the top left-hand corner. And with half an hour gone, Liverpool take an important lead. Fulham 0, Liverpool 1.
Manchester United bring it forward with Scott McTominay. They lead here by 3-1, and Villa have won by the same scoreline. Here's Natalie Pike.
Yes, Villa 1, Bournemouth 3, and Bournemouth took the lead in the first half. A Dominic Solanke penalty for his 18th of the season. Then in injury time, Rodgers got Villa's first to the game. Villa's second came in 57 minutes for Diaby Watkins' 11th assist of the season. His 12th assist of the season came in the 78th minute. A lovely ball for Bailey. He now has the most assists in the Premier League to go with his 19 goals, and Gareth Southgate has a good headache with the form of Solanke and Watkins. Villa remain in 4th, 6 points ahead of 5th place Spurs, and they really feel like they've got a grip now on that Champions League place. Villa 3, Bournemouth 1.
And full-time at Selhurst as well for Ian Abrahams.
Palace 5, West Ham 2, a scoreline that basically does West Ham no favours. Their European hopes are now all but over. Palace are pretty much safe. The star of the show, Ebery Chieze, he scored a wonder goal in the first half. Philippe Mateta got one in each half. There was an own goal apiece for Emerson for West Ham and Mitchell for Palace. Antonio also scored for West Ham, but they could have been beaten by 10 here today. They really could. They were that poor. Palace 5, West Ham 2.
In this one, we're into the final 15 minutes on TalkSport, the FA Cup semi-final. Jim Proudfoot talking through the action alongside Stuart Pearce and Mickey Gray. And it's 3-1 to Manchester United, who were 3-0 up inside an hour. Coventry have pulled one back through Ellis Sims. Scott McTominay for United in the heart of the midfield, just turning into trouble in the form of O'Hare, but he was able just to poke the ball back out towards the right-hand side for Anthony. Eriksson helping it on. Here's Anthony again. His 2 goals this season have come in this competition, but as he looked for Hoyland, he's just passed it through to the Coventry goalkeeper, Brad Collins. 14 to go, and it's 3-1 to United.
Yeah, Coventry sort of need to keep the tempo that they had. Getting this goal back, just give them a bit of a lift, and you always get the feeling with United that, you know, they're not at one with defending games. Thomas coming forward from the back for Coventry, but he's given it away. Eriksson getting it forward. No flag against Marcus Rashford. Sure, we've had an offside flag all day. We've got one now. He was just nicking a yard. Coventry taking the free kick quickly. Worked it forward towards Ben Sheaf, who was immediately fouled by Bruno Fernandes. And Coventry take a slightly more progressive and slower approach with this second free kick. He's actually worked short again towards Van Erwijk. Goes back to his goalkeeper. Collins playing out. Now Binks out towards the Coventry left-hand side. The deficit is 2. Coventry now with more possession than at any previous stage of the game. Binks on his left foot. Good switch of play out towards Fabio Tavares, who will come across, try and control it, and it's just bounced off his right foot and gone out of play. Looking very good, incidentally, for the TalkSport charity bet with Betfair today, all for the Bobby Moore Fund. Now Fernandes to score at any time, Sims to score at any time, and a Manchester United win. If United do hold on here, and the Bobby Moore Fund will be significantly benefiting from that. United bringing it forward here. Anthony, left-footed effort. That's blocked and goes away towards the edge of the box. And Van Erwijk should be able to clear, and goes more than that. It's a good ball into space. Sims running onto it. And Sims will come in off the left-hand touchline here for Coventry. He's got Bidwell making a run outside him. He's got O'Hare in space. Right-footed effort. Fire deflection. Oh, it's in! Spot in! Callum O'Hare! They were 3-0 down with half an hour to go, and they've got 2 of them back. Sims on 71, O'Hare on 79. The comeback is on. 3-0 has become 3-2, and Manchester United nervously limping towards the line. I tell you what, Jim, the ball broke on the edge of Coventry's box there, and I'm looking at Ten Hag when 1 or 2 of his players have just dangled a foot. I think Rashford was amongst that. Dangled a foot instead of trying to stop the counter-attack. And from that moment on, Coventry went forward, and when O'Hare unloaded one, it hit Wan-Bissaka dead in the middle of the back, and it spent an eternity up in the air. Onana dropped to his knees as it sailed over his head into the back of the net, and we could have an incredible finish to this game now.
It's amazing, isn't it? 1 goal, you get yourself back into the tie, and the Manchester United players from that moment, it's like they've all switched off. There's a nervousness inside them. Nobody wants the ball. They brought on the experience of Christian Eriksen. He was one of the players who was actually trying to track back, but he didn't have the legs to get back. Coventry have broke out, and full credit, O'Hare, he's not stopped running in his second half. He's got so much space in front of him. It's like the back line of Man United have said, come on then, take the shots on. Well, he has done. He's got that good fortune. Brilliant.
And the Coventry crowd have absolutely turned the volume up far more than before after that goal, the second Coventry goal. An outrageous deflection it may be, but why is Wan-Bissaka turning his back on the Callum O'Hare shot? And goodness me, could Coventry produce the impossible comeback?
And Sheath can't mastermind it here because he got to the edge of the penalty area and leant back as he hit a left-footed effort which sails over the junction of post and bar. Well, there's such a different feel about this now. They thought it was one, but with 10 minutes to go, it is anything but. And Coventry, the comeback kings of the quarter-final, might just be trying to replicate that here. 3-2 to Manchester United. Scored midway through the first half, right at the end of it, and just before the hour mark. But 2 goals in 7.5 minutes for the Sky Blues have put a huge amount of jeopardy back into this FA Cup semi-final. It isn't over yet.
I'll tell you what, Jim, I just keep going back to the fact you look at United and I just do not think they enjoy the defensive side of the game. You know, they want to do the pretty stuff going forward, and the recovery runs are lacking.
Well, Coventry's Bobby Thomas has just got a yellow card as Hoyland made a run past him, and Thomas knew that he had to stop him, and he's just wrestled him to the ground. He raises the thumb of his right hand in acknowledgement to the referee. He knew that was a fair cop. Thomas, the first player, cautioned, and it's a free kick to Manchester United on the left. 3-2 to United. A game that's been a little bit of a slow burner in terms of the jeopardy. Coventry have only had 2 shots on target. They've scored with them both. And now they do believe. Away to our right-hand side, that sea of sky blue, vibrant, bobbing up and down, flags waving. United looking to restore a 2-goal advantage. Will get a corner as the free kick from Bruno Fernandes wasn't really high enough, but a diving headed clearance from Hadji Wright puts it behind the line for a corner which will be taken by Christian Eriksen on the United left. 8 minutes to go plus stoppage time, and it's Manchester United 3, Coventry 2.
Well, if you ask me now, Jim, what score do I think this game will end up at? I don't think it'll end up at 3-2. I've no idea who'll score though.
Eriksen to take the corner from the United left. It's actually their first of the second half, in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Good header away by Wright, brought down by Tavares. Wright first to it, through the midfield. O'Hare will be able to pick it up. The counter-attack could be on. Coventry trying to get bodies forward in support of O'Hare. Played out towards the left. Nicely worked round the corner. Coventry still doing well to bring the ball forward. They got 2 in the middle. Sims was there. It's deflected away just past the near post for a corner to the Sky Blues.
He's whipped the ball across the back line of United, and I think it was Maguire who's got a foot on it, and all of us in this commentary box thought that was going to nestle in the back of the net.
Good delivery that from the substitute De Silva. So Coventry with a corner as they look for an equaliser. Right footed, just before it comes in, the referee blew his whistle.
I'll tell you what, this is what I don't like about refereeing. The referee has seen some pulling from Hoyland on a Coventry attacker, and he's blown the whistle before the ball's come in. For me, I think he's got to keep the whistle quiet, and if he sees some pulling, give a penalty.
So Victor Torp will try again. He spots the ball down by the quadrant, and now he will take it. The 6-yard box really congested, and it's hitting with real power towards the far post, where Sheath went up for it. He's taking a deflection off the United player, goes out of play for a Coventry throw. Boy, they're making a good fist of this late on. They were dead and buried, but then that, I guess, in keeping with the history of Coventry City and this resilience and never say die attitude that has seen them rise like the proverbial phoenix from League 2 after being relegated all the way down from the Premier League. Long throw inside the penalty area, hooked back in by O'Hare, header away, right-footed effort from Torp. That would have been one of the best goals I've ever seen. He hit a right-footed effort from the edge of the D, and Onana somehow got something on it. It was a blistering volley, and Onana has saved it. and he has denied Coventry an equaliser. And Dave Rowe behind that goal. Have you ever seen a shot hit as hard as that?
That is an outstanding save by Onana. Superbly struck by Torp. He scored a spectacular goal in the previous round at Sheffield Wednesday. That was hammering into the back of the net, and Onana has somehow got everything behind it. United are rocking here, and now Onana is getting a yellow card for time wasting, which has certainly been well received by the Coventry crowd. 5 to go here, and Coventry going for it.
Well, that was probably one of the best volleys I've ever seen in this stadium. Absolutely magnificent strike. Fernandes done everything he could to keep out the way of it and make sure he didn't get hurt. And Onana, the last line of defence, wonderful save.
Well, he almost put the Torp in torpedo there, Victor, from the edge of the area. They struggled showing the replay to slow it down enough that you could actually see it was hit with such venom and ferocity. Just a magnificent shot and some reaction save from Onana. It was a brilliant stop. It would have been one of the greatest goals this stadium has ever seen. 3-2, Manchester United lead. Here's McTominay. And showing guile to be able to turn in the midfield, and now Pearce, who will drive forward towards the edge of the box. He's got Rashford in support. Rashford had a yard of space, a little bit of thinking time. He's pulled it back for Wan-Bissaka. Back from him to McTominay, to Ericsson, to Maguire. Harry Maguire, the scorer of the second Manchester United goal. Played forward in towards the feet of Wan-Bissaka. Back for Christian Eriksen, wearing 14 for United. To Maguire again, McTominay. Just doing their best to be able to keep possession here. Manchester United, they go all the way back for Onana. United next in action at home to Sheffield United. It isn't on UK TV, it is on Talksport 2. Wednesday night, kicks off at 8. Of course, we've got the Merseyside derby that night for you here on Talksport, kicking off at 8. Thursday, Manchester City go to Brighton. They might be 4 points behind Arsenal by then, because Arsenal are at home to Chelsea Tuesday night, and those games also live and exclusive to Talksport. As Coventry will bring the ball forward here with Van Erwijk. Back towards Bobby Thomas. Thomas hitting a flamboyant crossfield ball, inch perfect, out towards De Silva. De Silva has come on for Bidwell. Out towards the left, high ball inside the penalty area, which Fabio Tavares was trying to attack. He's probably the smallest man on the field. Easy for Wan-Bissaka to get away. De Silva winning the second on the edge of the box. Back towards Callum O'Hare, who scored the second Sky Blues goal. Torp laying it back. Now Bidwell, Eccles, I beg your pardon. Down through the midfield, out towards Van Erwijk. Fabio Tavares as the loose ball ricocheted into the penalty area, chased after it. It's knocked away, and Binks will bring it down and find De Silva. De Silva, a great turn from him. Pulled back by the former Bristol City man. Now O'Hare will take over. Anthony getting back goal side. Still Coventry come. Ben Sheaf towards the edge of the penalty area, but has to make a tired recovery run as Manchester United win it back and turn possession over. Here comes Fernandes, who at the moment is the match winner. Rashford will be able to take over. Fernandes was fouled. The referee played the advantage. Fernandes trying to get it inside the area. Hoyland couldn't turn. And Coventry will be able to bring it away. And still United can't put it to bed. We've got 2 minutes of the 90 to go. Onana sprints outside his penalty area. Heavy touch. He'll take it on towards the touchline. And then a right-footed ball just punted down towards the corner flag at the other end of the field to give him time to get back into his goal. What a cup tie this is proving to be. 3-2 with 2 minutes to go. Long ball down towards Fabio Tavares. Wan-Bissaka puts it out of play. Throw to Coventry and a goal at Craven Cottage, Ollie.
It's the equaliser, Jim. Fulham 1, Liverpool 1. Timothy Castagna has got the home side level. The ball was worked inside the box. Muniz had a header at goal. It came back out, and there was Castagna to smash it home. Fulham 1, Liverpool 1.
So 1-1 there. Torp just with an opportunity on the edge of the penalty area here. It took a deflection and spun onto the roof of the bar, but I think the whistle had gone. And Onana again, wasting as much time as he thinks he can get away with, bearing in mind he's on a yellow card before he restarts play. A minute plus stoppage time, and it's 3-2 to Manchester United.
I've got to say, Jim, I think there's one or two United players out there that don't actually know what it takes to get over the line in games like this. Coventry are coming and coming and coming. Too many of them are just looking at teammates and saying, well, I hope you get the ball back so we can attack again.
Here's O'Hare, beaten by Eriksson. Anthony. Eriksson will take over again. Now played back towards Scott McTominay inside the centre circle for Manchester United. And we've got about 15 seconds left. The fourth official is Thomas Bramall. He's got a numbers board in his hand, and in a moment he will show how many minutes Coventry have got to score the goal that will take this to extra time. Play forward by Sheaf. Here's Ellis Sims. Sims turning, spiralling a ball out towards Haji Wright. 6 minutes of added time to be added. United working away from the edge of their own penalty area with Eriksson. Wan-Bissaka in towards Rashford. Rashford will take it on. Brilliant sliding challenge by the retreating Sheaf in the midfield. And now he turns it forward for Tavares. And Coventry have got 3 coming forward for him. Tavares inside the penalty area. Tavares from a tight angle, and he plays it across the edge of the 6-yard box. And Wright can't get there. And United will be able to clear. They're on the ropes. They're on the ropes, Manchester United.
They certainly are. And as I say, they've got themselves to blame. I honestly don't think, and I've seen it from start to finish with United, we see it a lot of times during the season, that the defensive side of their game, they give too many teams too much room. And that's certainly the case at the moment.
Jim, Stuart, I don't know if you... Their in-game management is so poor, Man United's. They've not been able to control a game of football, which they were totally in control in that first half. 5 minutes ago, Marcus Rashford had the chance to run into the 18-yard box. He ran the ball into the corner and he kept it for about 30 seconds. Then they lost the ball again and Coventry won transition. You have to know how long is left in the game and what you need to do with that. They need to keep going forward. They're no good at hanging on to leads, Manchester United. They've just got to keep going at Coventry and try and get that fourth goal if they possibly can. But at the minute, they're all panicking, they're all giving the ball away. Wan-Bissaka's getting beat down this left-hand side in a 1v1 situation. You don't see that very often. There's chances here for Coventry.
Well, Rashford was down for a moment. United had to play it out inside their own penalty area, so you weren't missing anything. Play restarts, about 5 minutes of added time still to go. Eriksson heads it clear. United got Ahmad ready, but he's been told to sit down again. Coventry will bring it forward. Ball inside the penalty area. Coming around the back was Binks. Big appeal for handball. And it is a penalty to Coventry City in stoppage time. Haji Wright with the ball in. Binks coming round the back. A sliding Manchester United defender blocked it with his arm.
I think it's Wan-Bissaka actually at the back post. Well, if this is given when they check, incredible. Wan-Bissaka's had his hands out wide. To be honest with you, I don't think he'd do a great deal to get out of the way of it, but to be honest with you, he had his arms away from his body. But then again, so did Grealish yesterday.
Do you think in this situation, Stuart, because Wan-Bissaka's off the ground, he's kind of sliding to keep that ball away, he's not in control of his hands? See him just falling to the ground there. You know, he's lost his balance and he's just about off the ground. I think that's why this is going to stand.
Mickey, I've got to say, if VAR do not give this, I have no confidence on any decision in football. I've got to say, for me, it's a penalty. For the sake of the game, I hope it's a penalty.
Well, I don't see how it can be overruled. Haji Wright missed Coventry's last penalty. That was against Southampton. And he originally strode forward to take the ball. He has scored all of the Sky Blues' successful spot kicks this season. But it looks as though it's going to be Callum O'Hare that will take this. There's still a discussion going on between the pair of them. And in fact, O'Hare has been told to abdicate responsibility. And it is going to be right to take it.
I think we're in the process of watching one of the great semi-finals, Jim. And if this hits the back of the net, what the next few minutes and potentially next half hour and potentially penalties are going to throw up, who knows.
We're in the 5th minute of stoppage time. Coventry were 3-0 down with 19 minutes to go. Haji Wright sends the keeper the wrong way. 3-0 has become 3-3. They are dancing in the aisles away to our right hand side. It is stunning FA Cup semi-final fight back you could ever wish to see. Manchester United, to all intents and purposes, had the game won. They've taken their eye off the ball, and Coventry have struck back through Sims, O'Hare and Wright. They are back in the FA Cup on the ground that brought them their most famous ever moment. They have just conjured up the most extraordinary fight back, and Manchester United have selfishly, carelessly tossed away a 3-0 lead. Man United 3, Coventry 3. Haji Wright from the spot with a kick that will go down as one of the most famous moments in Coventry's history.
Well, I've got to say, this Coventry team just do not know when to lie down, and sadly for United, I'm not sure they know when to stand up. But this game could go absolutely any way.
Well, there are 30 seconds of the 6 minutes left to play. I reckon that's probably realistically 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, because of the stoppage after the goal and the stoppage for an injury when we'd just gone into stoppage time. Still time for Coventry to win this. Surely they can't score 2 goals to come back in stoppage time as they did at Molineux. They're going to give it a good go though. Here's Tavares, ball inside the penalty area. Sims, his effort is blocked. Fernandes will try and bring it away. He's been caught, and it's a free kick to Manchester United just outside their penalty area. Back pitch side to Talksport's Dave Rowe.
Where I cannot believe what I've just seen, and there are still Coventry fans dancing around behind me for the comeback, to come back to 3-3, and the momentum that's now with them. But what a cool penalty by Haji Wright. He had to wait 2 minutes for the VAR check. Callum O'Hare held the ball, Haji Wright took it, perfect penalty, and the fans behind me are going berserk as Coventry come from 3-0 down, and surely we're going to extra time.
I've got to say, you've got to hand it to Wright. That penalty was calmness personified. It really was. When you see his team had got back to 3-2, ball on the penalty spot, a wonderful penalty. This game is up in the air now. Who's got more character?
Well, I think the Coventry fans will feel that they know the answer to that. Here's O'Hare, forward towards Sims, and Nana came out, just got there outside the penalty area in time and got it away. Bruno Fernandes heading it down, headed on by McTominay. O'Hare trying to get in behind him, he's been caught. United have made a change incidentally. They've taken Rashford off and brought Ahmad on, the hero of the quarter-final. Who better to bring on when you need to win a game 4-3 than Ahmad? Van Erwijk clipping a long ball over the top. Coventry had dropped deep. O'Hare had wanted it into feet. It's gone over Maguire and goes through towards Onana.
I've got to say, when that ball's gone through to Sims and it was him and the goalkeeper rushing out, I think you've got to have a go for that ball. He'd done the goalkeeper a massive favour by putting the brakes on slightly.
Just about to go into the 9th minute of added time. It's 3 apiece on a day when Manchester United have blown a 3-0 lead. Here's Ahmad in the centre circle. Bruno Fernandes in space to his left-hand side. Ahmad has done really well to skip round the challenges. Fernandes, goal at either end, now wins it. Fernandes inside the penalty area, pulls it back. Collins got something on it, hammered away by Torp. Out towards the Coventry left, where Wright can't keep it in. United will have time to take the throw, but I don't think they're going to be allowed to take it from there. Just that they are. Nicked a few yards. Throw taken in towards Ahmad. Ahmad turning towards the edge of the penalty area. Lays it back towards Maguire. Harry Maguire bringing it forward. He's asked an awful lot of Wan-Bissaka, who will chase after that. He can't keep it in. And it goes out of play for a goal kick, which will be taken by Brad Collins. It is a FA Cup semi-final for the ages. What a cup run Coventry have had. 22 FA Cup goals this season, but none more important than number 22, with Haji Wright's penalty in the 6th minute of stoppage time, seeing Coventry complete their fight back from 3-0 down. This goal kick from Collins might just be the last kick of the 90. Extra time very much on the cards now.
I don't know who are the most shell-shocked in this stadium, the coaching staff of Man United, the players of Man United, or their supporters at the moment. But Coventry, the character they've shown has been absolutely incredible.
Sims heading the goal kick on. United still with time to play on. Working down towards Ahmad. Van Erwijk trying to stop any progress upfield, or is he nicked possession of him? He hasn't quite. Ahmad recovered well. He's been forced to play it back to his goalkeeper, and Nana will clear. That is that. What a wonderful FA Cup tie. And still the most significant moment lies ahead of us. Manchester United 2 up by half-time, 3 up inside an hour, and to all intents and purposes they could be booking the travel for the final against Manchester City. But Mark Robins' most famous moment in a Manchester United shirt was to score a goal that saw an FA Cup semi-final end 3-3. Now he's masterminded an FA Cup semi-final to end 3-3 in 90 minutes, with Sims, O'Hare and Haji Wright completing the comeback. An extraordinary turnaround with 3 goals in the last 20 minutes, and we go to extra time at Wembley at 3 apiece.
Wow, what a comeback. That's extraordinary. Let me tell you what's happened elsewhere today. Premier League, Everton beat Forest 2-0. After the game, Forest completely lost it, put out a statement basically saying they should have had 3 penalties and the VAR was a Luton fan. There will be repercussions, believe me. We've heard from Nuno on this show, the Forest manager, who was talking about conspiracies. Forest have completely lost their minds. Aston Villa beat Bournemouth 3-1, coming from behind to do that. Palace put 5 past West Ham. It finished 5-2, and right now it's Fulham 1, Liverpool 1. Rangers beat Hearts 2-0 in the Scottish Cup semi-final, so it's a Rangers-Celtic final. But the Sky Blues sky high here at Wembley. You know what, with 70 minutes gone, Mickey Gray, it was all done, it was all over. But first of all, let's give a huge amount of credit to Coventry, who they made some substitutions, they got on the front foot and they started to attack, realising they had nothing to lose. They've only come back and it's 3-3 going to extra time.
Adrian, absolutely top class from the players, and also Mark Robins deserves a lot of credit because he saw a problem in the first half, playing 3 centre-halves. He came out in the second 45 minutes, they went to a flat back 4. It gave them more options when they got further forward. They got themselves back into the game eventually. That Man United team had this game won after 58 minutes. It was 3-0. All they had to do, and I talked about the in-game management of keeping all of the ball and controlling the game. Marcus Rashford then goes down injured. They have to make a change. He's one of their star players. They're out on the feet. They're a bag of nerves at the moment because of the 3 goals that they've conceded. I'm looking at Man United's bench, even if they're going to do something. There's 4 of the subs that are left. They've not played first-team football. It's incredible. But full credit to Mark Robins. The changes he's made, they made an impact. I thought Tavares down this right-hand side was a real live wire. And then they bring on a left-back to Silva. He got himself involved in the game, and they got their good fortune. Some great goals, even the penalty as well. I mean, the move from left to right, the ball into the box. And Wan-Bissaka's got a decision to make. Do I keep my arms by my side? But when his feet just came off the ground an inch and it hit his arm, it was always going to stand, that penalty. They've got what they deserved out this 90 minutes, Coventry. They look the stronger right now. You wouldn't bet against them.
Absolutely. Let's go down to Dave Rose, watching the Coventry players as they are spoken to by the manager, Mark Robins. Dave?
Yes, indeed. And Mark Robins obviously delighted with the comeback. Why wouldn't you be? And now I think he wants his team to just switch themselves back on from the euphoria. It was an amazing comeback. I think when it got to 3-2, the game was heading back in their direction. Manchester United had been coasting along at 3-0 and 3-1 and didn't know how to turn the game back on. And certainly Robins' in-game changes, which Stuart and Mickey have been talking about, the mid-second half changes, especially down the right-hand side, made such a big difference. And yes, I think it was a penalty. VAR took time to sort it out, but it was a penalty well taken by Haji Wright. This is a massive test now of Manchester United's character. This is still a top Premier League side who have been taken all the way, who were 3-0 up against the Championship side and have been pegged back to 3-3. So there is character required now on their side to put that embarrassment behind them and come back. And for Mark Robins, basically we're back to 0-0 again, aren't we? We've started again now for extra time. It's been mad, it's been chaos, but now switch yourself back on, defend properly as they were before they went one behind in the first half. And meanwhile, the Coventry players, Binks is coming across now, try and raise the fans behind the goal once more, because no one knows which way this semi-final is going to go. It has been quite some comeback, quite some occasion.
Yeah, extraordinary stuff. Jason Wilcox, the new technical director for Manchester United, he's here at Wembley, and I think he's just getting an idea of the size of his task. I wonder what Eric Ten Hag's little team talk in the huddle was there. Remember, Alf Ramsey in '66 at Wembley said, "You've won it once, now go and win it again." Something like that from Ten Hag, maybe. It'll need to be big words from him as we prepare for extra time. But for Coventry, what an opportunity. They were down and out, dead and buried. It had been a great cup run, but it got as far as the semi-final. Then all of a sudden, it's 3-3, and they have a chance of making it to the FA Cup final against Manchester City next month. The first period of extra time is about to get underway. It's live here on Talksport. Remarkably, it's Manchester United 3, Coventry City 3. Here's your commentary team on Talksport of Mickey Gray, Stuart Pearce and Jim Proudfoot.
Adrian, thank you. It's time for everybody to gather their thoughts, draw breath after the most pulsating second half of an FA Cup semi-final for years. So we're back underway. United red shirts and black shorts kicking from right to left. Coventry attacking that same end of the ground that brought them those 3 goals in the last 20 minutes of normal time. Here's Ahmad for Manchester United, making his way forward to the edge of the Coventry penalty area. Plays it back. And Coventry able to easily win the ball with Tavares. Anthony just seemed to shirk a challenge there. It goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Coventry right. Stuart?
It's little things like that. Anthony's come on, joined the game, has got absolutely no idea what the game needs from him at this moment in time, and jumps out the way of a challenge and lets the ball go out for a throw-in. It's little things like that that just erode your team's performance.
Well, let's have a look at who's left on the benches. And Coventry have experienced players in the likes of Liam Kelly, Jamie Allen, and Matt Godden. Manchester United, on the other hand, have only got one player that they can call upon on the bench as an outfield substitute who's ever played a senior game, and that's Amari Forson. They've got 4 more outfield subs, and they haven't played a United game between them. How significant will that prove to be? It's Victor Torp for Coventry, who's certainly made a good effect since he came on. Mark Robins making a triple change around the hour mark after they went 3-0 down. It'll be probably regarded as one of the best substitutions he's made in his history. Hoyland. Fanny Fernandez in the heart of the midfield, played forward by him into the feet of the retreating Anthony, back towards Harry Maguire, to Anthony again, and Maguire able to play it forward. Last time the two sides met, it was Coventry that won it at League Cup time in 2007. They were a championship team at the time, and the Maltese international Michael Mifsud scored a couple of goals at Old Trafford to knock Manchester United out of the League Cup that day. Are they going to be able to win an FA Cup tie against them in the most extraordinary circumstances? Inconceivable, having seen the first hour when Coventry still hadn't had a shot on target and United were 3-0 up, that we could be in extra time. And here's Maguire bringing the ball forward for Manchester United. There's a time for United to roll their sleeves up and show some character. And the inquest into everything that has transpired today in the Premier League and also here is going to be a fascinating listen. And we'll hear from Alan Pardew and Majestic, bringing you all of the post-match reaction. We'll hear from Eric Ten Hag and Mark Robins and the headline makers as well. Your chance to have you say on national radio on 08717 223344. Coventry are in possession inside the centre circle. Easy possession for a moment. Van Erwijk down towards the right-hand side for Tavares, who's looked lively since coming on, and that's a nice ball from him as well. Work down the line for Ben Sheath. Bruno Fernandes has followed him every step of the way. Sheath will just work it back for Van Erwijk now. The Dutchman playing it back to Sheath once more. Sheath clipping it forward. Tavares making the run. Wan-Bissaka leaning over him, leaning into him, pulling his shirt, getting it away on the slide. The referee says it was just a genuine coming together between the two. It's left Tavares on the deck. And Manchester United are able to play on here. There's a poor ball intended, though, for Hoyland. And Bobby Thomas was able to clear. Long clearance from him. Onana again, forced to come outside his penalty area. Chests it down. Volleys it up the left-hand touchline. Thomas with a really poor defensive header. Straight to Hoyland. He's 25 yards outside the penalty area. He isn't anymore. He's playing it in towards Ahmad. Ahmad cutting it back. Fernandez off the underside of the bar. And Thomas can breathe an almighty sigh of relief. Just a lazy defensive header. And United able to capitalise upon it very, very nearly. Now Coventry break at the other end. Hadji Wright just overruns it. And it goes out of play for a goal kick which will be taken by Manchester United. The drama just continues to unfurl.
Incredible, as I say, a loose pass at the back there, and then when it fell to Fernandez, Coventry, he was the last person they needed it to fall to. Brilliant strike, underside of the bar and out, counter-attack. Casemiro towing a fridge, by the way, when Wright went past him. And just run out of space, ball out. And it's about mental strength now. Both sets of players feeling the fatigue, Jim.
How big's the fridge?
It looked a mighty big fridge from this distance, you know. Mickey said something about a fridge freezer.
I think it was a full fridge as well. That's what we've been waiting for, haven't we, in the game? We talked about it. If you can isolate one of the centre-halves at Man United in a foot race, you've got a heck of a chance of beating him. Hadji Wright left him for dust. He was 2 or 3 yards behind Casemiro. And what Casemiro tries to do, he tries to read. Instead of trying to shadow play a player into the corner, he tries to read and nick the ball off Wright. Wright's clever and just kicks the ball past him. And if his touch is better, they're in again behind Manchester United's backline. There's no character out there in a red shirt at the moment, Jim. Nobody wants to get on the ball. No one wants to make things happen. Yes, the Fernandez opportunity was great, and Diallo's looked pretty lively since he come on, but I'm looking around and I'm thinking, do you actually want to go and win this match?
Well, you've not been missing anything because Tavares has been down receiving treatment. He's back on his feet. He'll probably receive 90 seconds of treatment or so, and play now restarts, and Ahmad will lay it back towards Harry Maguire. Manchester United have that topsy-turvy quarter-final where they saw off Liverpool by 4-3 in extra time. Can they yet put everything that happened in the last 20 minutes of normal time behind them and come back to win this one in extra time as well? Tavares is back on, and straight away putting pressure on Wan-Bissaka. The United fans who have the appearance of being shell-shocked, it has to be said. All the way to our left-hand side, there are some right in front of us. They gave a shout of man on to Wan-Bissaka, and he was able to get the ball away. United recycle it over towards the far side. What a weekend of epic FA Cup semi-final drama we brought you here on Talksport. Thomas, Fernandez goal side of him, might have been in an offside position when the ball was played forward anyway. It's come off Fernandez's head and goes out for a goal kick that is going to be taken by Coventry's Brad Collins. Manchester United 3, Coventry 3 in extra time.
At this moment in time, I get the feeling United don't know whether to attack or defend. They're just keeping the ball for keeping its sake and stopping Coventry having any form of possession to hurt them.
Bobby Thomas bringing the ball out from the back. Player who was a loyal servant at Burnley without ever really making the grade, but has done well after his move to Coventry. Is Binks, who came on as a substitute. Ball forward from him towards halfway, headed on towards Ellis Sims, who scored yet another goal in the last 20 minutes of the game. He'll take it up to 19 for the season, the vast majority of which have come after Christmas. Ball now out of play for a throw, which will be taken over on the Manchester United right. It's a far touchline, and Erik ten Hag stands in his dark suit on the edge of the technical area, and he must be completely mystified as to what he's seen today. Harry Maguire playing it back. It is a semi-final in which Coventry have never led. United still with a chance to put everything behind them. All that matters is that they get through. And the semi-final's not necessarily about the performance, just about getting the job done and a chance to meet Manchester City on level terms in the final coming up. But Coventry are eyeing that up, and they're looking the more likely winners now. Midway through the first period of extra time here on Talksport at 3 apiece. Fernandez trying to win it back, still grafting. And Moylan has done really well. And he sprays the ball wide out towards Ahmad, who's got Fernandez making a run one side of him. He's got Anthony the other. Ahmad will go towards the edge of the penalty area alone. It's ran down a blind alley, so pulls it back for Eriksson. His shot hits top. One Dane blocking the effort from another. And Coventry going to be able to bring it away with the Silva. The Silva out towards O'Hare, and it's still 3-3.
As it looks at the moment, it looks like Coventry are the team looking to try and win it, and United are the team looking for damage limitation and going to penalties if you didn't know better.
And how much will it be going through Erik ten Hag's mind that he's just got absolutely nothing on the bench really that he can call upon in terms of experienced players, and all players with, you know, extraordinarily bright futures, but it's their ability to be able to come on and influence things in the here and now that he can't really trust.
Jim, we were here a couple of months ago when Liverpool put trust in some youngsters to come on and finish a game in a Carabao Cup final, and they certainly didn't let them down. Yeah, the evolution of those youngsters might be a bit further up the food chain, but at the moment I think there's one or two United players with a little bit of baggage that are certainly doing their level best to make sure that they don't end the season with a game against Manchester City as things look.
Well, it's a throw to United in their left-back position. They can still call upon Amari Forson and Ethan Wheatley and Louis Jackson, who are forwards, and fullbacks Habib Ogunai and Harry Amas, who's only 16. Wan-Bissaka delaying the throw, takes it now down towards Bruno Fernandes, and Wan-Bissaka will clear. Another goal at Craven Cottage for Talksport's Ollie Klink.
It's Fulham 1, Liverpool 2. Ryan Gravenberch has put Liverpool back in front here. The ball was given away by Iwobi. Elliott then slipped in Gravenberch on the edge of the box, and he curled in a lovely finish into the right-hand corner. Liverpool edge back in front, 53 gone. Fulham 1, Liverpool 2.
Earlier today, Everton beating Forest by 2-0. Forest releasing an extraordinarily incendiary statement after it, basically inferring that they felt that the VAR didn't do his job properly, and questioned whether that was to do with his own footballing loyalties. That will run and run. Villa 3, Bournemouth 1, Palace 5, West Ham 2. And Rangers through to the Scottish Cup final. Here's Sheaf from distance, and although Onana was scrambling a little bit to his left-hand side, he had it covered, and it's gone out of play for a goal kick, which will be taken by Manchester United. In the Championship, Sheffield Wednesday won 3-1 at Blackburn to move themselves out of the bottom three with only a couple of games to go at Birmingham's expense. So you're up to date, and your chance to react to everything that has happened today. We're coming with Alan Pardew and Majestic, all the post-match reaction here on Talksport. Onana playing it out of the penalty area. Eriksson dropping deep. And his experience is definitely going to be called upon here for Manchester United. Wan-Bissaka turned on by Bruno Fernandes through the midfield. Anthony's first to it was a foul though by Fernandes. A little push, and he hung his head in dejection. Didn't like the decision. Coventry taking the free kick quickly, but a little bit too quickly, because McTominay is down for a moment on the edge of the centre circle, and the referee just asking Coventry to wait. McTominay's back on his feet, and they're going to make a change, United, and they are going to bring on Amari Forson, who made his full debut against Fulham back in February. He was taken off early in the second half. A youngster signed from Spurs as a 15-year-old. He's come off the bench in rounds 3 and 4 in this competition, and he's going to come on now for the injured McTominay towards the end of the first period of extra time. 3-3.
Well, fresh legs what's needed, fresh mentality is what's needed, and at the moment this game is just totally in the balance, and you can't help thinking it will be a mistake or a tired leg that probably costs whatever team the opportunity to go through.
So Forson has gone out towards the right-hand side, and Diallo is going to play in a more central role now. So United have switched things around. De Silva has got it for Coventry. And plays it through the centre circle. Sheaf with the ball out towards Fabio Tavares. Tavares, good control from him. Lays it back for Van Erwijk. Approaching halfway. Fabio Tavares then looks at his manager, who motions that he should have tried to turn and run at Wan-Bissaka. That is an area where Coventry have had some joy, and Fabio Tavares has been able to supply a lot of it. Couple of minutes left of this first period of extra time, but 2 or 3 to be added on, you'd think. Here's Ellis Sims. Sims clipping it. Oh, it's a good ball on the turn. Brought down nicely by De Silva. First time ball from him. Goes back for Victor Torp. Sheaf coming forward. Torp again towards the edge of the penalty area. Manchester United backing off. 3-3 in extra time. Ball in. O'Hare letting it run. Right with an effort. Straight at Maguire. Loose ball ricochets out towards the Coventry right. Van Erwijk. It bobbled off him. And he slid in to keep it in play. He might wish that he hadn't done that because Manchester United have turned it over and will be able to bring it forward with Højlund, whose touch was heavy, and Thomas comes across and cleans up.
Tell you what, that just about summed everything up there, didn't it? Thomas Højlund all of a sudden found some energy when he was pointing his body in the direction of the opposition's goal rather than running back towards his own. And Thomas there was up against it, up against an individual that potentially is quite quick, so I don't see it on a weekly basis, and made a wonderful challenge.
It was a good challenge, but at some personal cost because it's induced about the cramp. But that's been sorted, and Manchester United will prepare to take this throw with Wan-Bissaka. Any time could be anything at the end of this first period of extra time. Wan-Bissaka taking the throw. Past Anthony, in towards Højlund, laid off for Anthony again. Bruno to his right hand side. Here is Fernandes. Fernandes towards the edge of the penalty area for Forson, and it's wide of the near post. Far deflection, out of play from Manchester United corner, and just 1 extra minute of time at the end of this first period of extra time.
Yeah, this is United for you. You know, they get a sniff of a goal, and all of a sudden the energy levels go through the roof.
Corner to be taken on the Manchester United right. Can they get their noses in front? 3-3 the score. In comes the corner. Header away from Thomas off the top of his head. Back in from Anthony. And Thomas reacted quickly to throw a leg at that and steer it away. And then the boot is raised by Forson as he tries the spectacular inside the box. And it's a free kick to Coventry by the time it's taken. We'll just about be at the turnaround in extra time.
Yeah, we're well and truly in that area where anyone who scores here, Jim, I don't think there will be a reply. The psychological damage that will do.
So a free kick to be taken by Brad Collins, the Coventry City goalkeeper. We're waiting for players to push forward upfield, and the referee says, OK, let's turn around now. So 3-3, no further scoring in the first period of extra time, and still the drama lies ahead.
Jim, thanks very much. It's half-time in extra time, 3-3. Bruno Fernandes cracked the bar. Let me just remind you that the bet for the Bobby Moore Fund came in £737 heading to the Bobby Moore Fund. That's because of the 90-minute payout, which came to the rescue today. So well done, everybody, for that fantastic effort. Man United to win, Bruno Fernandes to score, Ellis Sims to score, £50, £737 plus, all going to that wonderful cause. A reminder as well that Nottingham Forest, and that statement will be a big talking point on Final Word with Madge and Pards on Talksport when we're finally done here at Wembley. Whether it's done after extra time or we go to penalties, we'll wait and see, but they will be wanting to take your calls. It'll be the usual number, 03717223344 is the number to call. That's for your calls to talk to Madge and Pards, or if you want to leave a WhatsApp voice note, then feel free. And I must mention as well that Crystal Palace have issued a statement after their 5-2 win over West Ham United, saying, and this is on Twitter, saying exactly this: 5 extremely good goals, 2 goals conceded, which we simply have to accept. Crystal Palace will now enjoy their Sunday. A wonderful response in relation to that nonsense and absurd statement from Nottingham Forest earlier in the afternoon. I hope they throw the book at them. Manchester United break from their little huddle. Coventry City are still in theirs. Mickey Gray very quickly. Bruno Fernandes thought he'd won it again for Manchester United as Rasmus Højlund and Dalot try to raise the crowd here, the United crowd. And for the first time we hear them make some noise really this afternoon, and United need that energy.
No, absolutely, 100%, Adrian. And it's got that feel of Manchester United season hinders on 15 minutes of football or 5 kicks of a penalty spot. It's just been incredible, the turnaround from a side that was so in control. Coventry were the one who were playing the long balls, and it's just roles reversed. Coventry are the ones who have got all the possession, and they're just really struggling.
And I think Coventry are going to have to make a change as well. Tavares got injured chasing down a long ball. He also was the victim of a crunching challenge as well. So that's a change that Coventry City are making for this second period of extra time at Wembley, live on Talksport, where it's still Coventry 3, Manchester United 3. Here's Jim Proudfoot.
And Dave Rowe, our pitchside reporter, can just fill us in on that Coventry change.
Yeah, Matty Godden coming on for Tavares, who was injured during that extra time period. Godden's been out himself recently, not played too much, been frustrated by his lack of game time. Rumours that he could be on his way out in the summer, but he's got a big 15 minutes here.
Well, he has played against Manchester United before. Very few of the Sky Blues players have. Matty played in a League Cup tie for Scunthorpe against them back in 2010. And it's taken this long for their paths to cross again. Will he have a say? We are back underway, the second period of extra time. 3-3 between Manchester United and Coventry City. United, if you're just joining us, were 3 up after 58 minutes. Still 3 up with 19 minutes to go. The goals from Sims, O'Hare and Wright salvaged the situation for Coventry, who are still hanging in there. Well, they're more than hanging in there. They've really been the better side since the Am. Here's Amat for Manchester United. And he'll turn all the way back to his goalkeeper, Anana. Bruno Fernandes has come the closest in extra time to scoring with an effort that whistled back onto the underside of the bar. Is Casemiro for Manchester United here. And Casemiro will just play it through the midfield towards Bruno Fernandes, and O'Hare chasing after him. Ericsson has it now. Ericsson, who's playing a linchpin in midfield in a 4-1-4-1, really. It's Maguire motors forward. It's a good strong run, this, from Harry Maguire. He's got Anthony in support if he can get it back to him as he won a corner. I might do more than that. He's pulled it back and whistles one, curving across the face of goal. And bar deflection wide for a corner.
Well, Maguire, who was surplus to requirements at United, near enough broke the deadlock between these two teams and put United ahead. But a wonderful save by the goalkeeper, I've got to say. Put a really good hand up and just deflected it wide.
That was good play by Maguire. Might just have been going wide anyway. And Collins with outstanding save. Ericsson will take this corner. Right-footed, in deep. Collins punches it away. Anthony picking it up inside the penalty area. He's laid it back for Ahmad. Ahmad across the face of the box, Forson letting it run. Comes out towards Ericsson. Ericsson left-footed, just daintily clipping it in, and that's headed away by Binks. Out of play for another corner.
Yeah, a lot of tired individuals. Another player gone down there with cramp in the box. You've just got to grit your teeth and go through it.
Well, Harry Maguire is a player who went down there, Stuart. He's had a problem with his groin over the last 2 months, and that's where he's hanging on to. He's got a real problem.
He's inside the 6-yard box, waiting to attack this latest corner, which is United's 6th of the game. 3-3 the score. In towards the near post, Hoyland almost with a really potent flick. The Coventry won the seconds just in behind him, and O'Hare in bringing it away has won a throw.
I'll tell you what, he's been outstanding, O'Hare, today. He really has. He's driven his team. He's been composed on the ball. He's put the yards in, the miles in for his team. I think he's had a wonderful game.
If he does lead the Sky Blues, he'll be certainly a loss. A player who's had nearly 180 appearances for the club, 9 goals this season, but surplus to requirements recently. Now, is there a VAR check? There was a brief VAR check for a potential handball inside the penalty areas. Hoyland came across to attack that last corner, and it hit a raised arm of Bobby Thomas, just on the top of the arm, though, the right side of the t-shirt line, from a Coventry perspective. And play will now continue. And we've got 11 minutes to go in extra time on Talksport before we go to penalties. And it's 3-3. And here's Maguire bringing the ball forward into the midfield, where Hoyland has dropped deep. It's an outstanding turn from him, and he'll run towards the edge of the box. Ahmad making a run one side of him. Hoyland going for goal. And it was blocked by Binks, and now Coventry get it forward. And here's Godden, and he's in a wide position, but he's now in the penalty area. Right-footed effort from him, deflects off the retreating Casemiro, and goes out of play for a corner.
Well, Godden's done brilliant there. Great ball in the channel. He's spun in the channel. But the one thing you cannot do when you drive in the box, let Casemiro off by taking your shot early. You've got to say to him, I'm coming straight down your throat, and you're going to have to make a tired challenge and bring me down. Otherwise, I'm going past you onto Onana.
So, Coventry corner. Victor Talk will come across to take it. 5 Sky Blues inside the penalty area, all of them within 8 yards of goal. Torp taking this, he's gone in very deep. Heads go up, it's nodded down by Thomas. But it will come out of the left-hand side of the penalty area for Diogo Dalot for Manchester United, who've still got the same back four that started the game, incidentally. Dalot, Casemiro, Maguire and Wan-Bissaka. They've got Eriksson and Fernandes in central midfield. Ahmad at 10. They've got Anthony and Forson wide and Højlund up front. And that's the Manchester United 11 as they are at the moment. Here's Sheaf. Oh, what a good ball that is. Out towards Ellis Sims, right-hand side of the area. Sims checking back, pulling it back, but behind the on-rushing Sky Blues players. And then as the ball comes down towards De Silva, he's caught his man, and he's going to get a yellow card.
2 wonderful opportunities for Coventry there. Godden on one of them, Sims on the other, and they've just not picked the right option on both occasions for me. When defenders are running back, tired legs, Maguire on that occasion, you've got to ask him that question.
So a yellow card for De Silva. It's De Silva, Binks, Thomas. The back four for Coventry. And Van Erwijk playing it at right back. Sheaf in midfield, Hadji Wright on the left. O'Hare has been brilliant playing at 10. Here's Ahmad. Going back towards Dalot. Dalot behind Forson, clipped over the top by Bruno Fernandes. Down from Dalot, and Coventry again able to win it. Anthony winning it back. De Silva's got to make sure he doesn't dive in. Fernandes taking a touch, and then a brilliant challenge by Binks on the edge of the penalty area. That was an old-fashioned centre-half challenge to get it away. Fernandes still down hurt. Coventry get it upfield quickly. Sims, O'Hare, it's Hadji Wright. Wright, wide. Massive chance for Coventry. It would have been a very controversial goal because United feel that Fernandes was cleaned out on the edge of the penalty area at the other end. Coventry allowed a counter-attack, and the shot from Hadji Wright screws wide.
Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. Sorry, Jim, I was just having a moment there. Incredible. The game's gone from one-ed. A wonderful challenge in my eyes on the edge of the box. Fernandes is still down suffering from it. And Coventry have swept up the pitch, laid a great ball from O'Hare onto Wright, and he's just pulled his shot across the face of the goal and wide. They've had 3 brilliant opportunities now to win this game, Coventry.
7.5 minutes to go. Coventry 3, Manchester United 3. Absolutely no sense after an hour of what was to unfold. Privilege it has been to be here and share it with you.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking at Ten Hag down there. He's shouting at his players, he's pointing at his forehead. Come on, think, come on, give me some energy. And I don't see any of his players offering him any of that.
Onana to Maguire. I think Manchester United would settle for penalties from this point. Come back to you in a moment as Højlund brings it forward. He's trying to release Anthony, and they'll be cleared by Thomas towards halfway, where Godden has done something to make something out of nothing. Maguire left on the deck for a moment. Ellis Sims barrelling through the midfield again. He's got right to his left. Here is Sims, and coming back, Forson did really well to force the error. Flick out a right foot and knock it away. Now Eriksson chips it over the top, and United will be able to come again down the other end. Down towards Ahmad. Ahmad controlling it on the edge of the box. A little give and go between him and Amari Forson. Ahmad helping into his left. Wan-Bissaka. Shot from distance comes in, it's blocked. Another effort, curves wide and goes out of play. So 3-3, 6 to go. If you were offered penalties, if you're Erik ten Hag, would you take that?
I would have took penalties an hour ago, to be quite honest here, if I was Ten Hag, the way things are going. Coventry are the team that for me, might get over the line, but listen, it's anyone's game. It's about fatigue. On that occasion, 5 United players against 3 Coventry defenders, and they just couldn't get a shooting line open.
3-3 the score. Another goal at Craven Cottage. Ollie Klink.
It's Fulham 1, Liverpool 3. Diogo Jota with the third for Liverpool. He was slipped in brilliantly by Cody Gakpo. Fired it a goal with his left foot. Leno should have done better. It ended up in the bottom right-hand corner. But that's a big goal for Liverpool in their push for the title. It should wrap up all 3 points. They are just checking for offside. I will come back to you if that is overturned, but at the moment it's Fulham 1, Liverpool 3.
So 3-1 to Liverpool, as things stand, will confirm the legitimacy of that goal in a moment. Here's O'Hare for Coventry, now to right, he's on the edge of the penalty area. Fernandes is nudging away, can Sims turn? Ericsson trying to make a challenge, oh, he's hit the underside of the bar with a shot on the turn, right-footed, and it's hit the underside of the bar, bounced almost on the line, and United scramble it to safety.
Jim, where is a Russian linesman when you need one? Allah 66, dear oh dear, an incredible turn and strike by Sim, fantastic forward play.
At that same end of the ground as well. But it didn't go in, and it's still 3-3, and Manchester United will bring it forward again. Anthony stopping the momentum of his run so he can check the ball back. Appeals for handball against Ahmad, nothing given. It's Forson, and it's just over the bar in front of you, Dave Rowe.
End-to-end stuff here, Jim. Coventry fans thought the Sims effort was in, off the underside of the bar. Anyone's game, an astonishing match, and that just over from United. Are we going to penalties?
Well, it looks that way at the moment. That the Liverpool goal, incidentally, still being checked. 3-1. As things stand at the moment, it has actually been given. Fulham 1, Liverpool 3. The lines are open. Got anything to talk about? Majestic and Alan Pardew taking your calls. 08717 223344. You can send them a voice note as well. An extraordinary day of football. The Nottingham Forest statement. Big wins for Crystal Palace, for Villa at home to Bournemouth, Everton seeing off Forest, and all the drama that we've brought you here at Wembley. 3-3 in the FA Cup semi-final. The lines are open now. 03717 223344. We've got 3 minutes before penalties. O'Hare, Godden doing well to leave it, and Maguire's going to be able to bring it away. The script is written for Godden, who's been surplus to requirements at Coventry in the recent past, but can the long-standing servant have a say in the biggest game they've had for years? Rasmus Højlund for Manchester United. Højlund on the left-hand side of the penalty area, trying to scuff a ball back in towards Anthony. It was easily clear. Back out to the United left, where it's brought down by Ericsson. And now Harry Maguire will come forward again, and he's released Forson, who will take it down towards the corner flag. Faced up though by Van Erwijk. Pulls it back outside the penalty area for Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes to Dalot. Oh, Dalot shifting it onto his left foot, then his right. Score of the odd spectacular FA Cup goal in the past, but not here. In from Fernandes. Maguire still forward now, taking up station inside the Coventry box. Another cross comes in, which is headed away. And then a left-footed effort from Anthony on the swivel. And it's gone over the bar and out of play for a goal kick. 2 minutes of extra time to go at 3-3.
Well, this is just a war of attrition now. Who can dig the deepest? And, well, it's just an incredible game. I almost would rather no penalties and just keep playing for the first team to score.
Golden goals
would be brilliant as a spectacle, wouldn't it? I don't think I've seen so many efforts in a spell of extra time from both teams.
Yeah, they have come with real regularity at either end of the field. Both sides hitting the underside of the bar. In fact, in extra time, there have been 15 shots. 10 for United, 5 for Coventry. Of those 15, only 2 have been on target, mind. But yeah, 15 attempts in 29 minutes of extra time. We're about to go into the 120th minute. It's been the hallmark of this FA Cup run for Coventry that they've left things late. Godden trying to embarrass Onana as he won a corner. Well, it must have been very close to going over the line. Onana rescued it. Play continues. Casemiro rolls his studs over the ball fires it forward towards halfway. Hoyland going up for it, was beaten in the air by Sheaf. Poked forward by Coventry, but headed away by Maguire. Torp beaten in the air. Forson wrestled to the ground by Victor Torp. A free kick to Manchester United, 10 yards inside their own half. One last opportunity, really, to get the ball forward. Bruno Fernandes standing over it. High ball from him, down towards the corner of the box. Remember, United left it later than this to win by the odd goal in 7 in the quarter-finals. A poor clearance, Eriksson. Hoyland going up for it, flying header at the near post, didn't get anything on it. Ahmad trying to keep it in play, but De Silva has been able to do that, and he's won it back by Coventry as we go to a minute of added time. Ball forward, Godden couldn't really get it to stick, but his second touch was better than his first, and he's found De Silva. From De Silva to O'Hare. O'Hare getting it forward. I think Wan-Bissaka has played right onside here. Cross here to the 6-yard box. And Coventry have surely won it. Matt Godden. It's 4-3 to the Sky Blues. The conclusion of a game that you simply couldn't write. Godden was in there, Victor Torp was in there. It is Torp that has supplied the last touch, sliding in to divert it into the bottom right-hand corner. Coventry City, 3-0 down with 19 minutes to go. 4-3 up with seconds left. And their first FA Cup final since 1987. No longer a dream, soon to be a reality. What an extraordinary turnaround in the most extraordinary FA Cup semi-final we've seen for years. The big question is whether Haji Wright is onside.
Well, it was extremely close, there's no doubt about that. It was that man O'Hare again who just lifted the ball, the right ball every time. This kid, every time something goes through him, Coventry are potent. And just when you think you've seen everything in football, it throws a game like this up at you. Incredible game. Now there's a hush around the stadium waiting for the decision, and this could take a couple of hours.
Well, they have to quite clearly get it right. So the angle that we're being shown makes it look as though Wright is offside, but parallax error certainly will come into play, because the angle that is being shown on the TV screen isn't straight along the field. They will be drawing the lines. It looks as though it's not going to count. It's offside. An enormous reprieve for Manchester United, who, for the sake of inches, have got Haji Wright offside. It's his left foot that is just past Wan-Bissaka. Victor Torp's goal is chalked off, and it is still 3-3.
Well, if there's a footballing god out there, I'm not sure he was smiling down on Coventry at the moment.
And now Manchester United win a corner, because they punted the free kick forward for the offside, and it's been flicked on and away for a corner that Eriksson will take. Coventry have to switch on here. They thought they had won it with just about the last kick. Moments left. This is surely the last phase of attacking play in the game. And it's an Eriksson corner for Manchester United. Maguire waits on the penalty spot. Hoyland is in there as well. Maguire trying to get free. In he comes. It's been headed away. It hits O'Hare and cannons back into the danger area. Coventry clear, and that is that. And we're going to penalties. So no goals in extra time, but both sides hitting the underside of the bar, and Coventry hitting the heights of ecstasy when Torp put the ball into the net, only to see the offside flag come up after a lengthy VAR check, and we are going to penalties. 3-3.
Well, I want a replay. I don't know what the big clubs think, but I want a replay. Absolutely extraordinary. Also, Mickey Gray, we've just had a close look at that offside, and I mean, I get infuriated with people saying offside is offside, and that is a great example where I know those people who say offside is offside are wrong. It's offside because Haji Wright's got big feet. That's all it is. It's not really offside. He's not gaining any advantage from that. And I know it would have been the greatest story in FA Cup history had that goal stood. But you've got to clear all that emotion away from that and take a look at it. He's offside because he's got big feet, not because he's getting an advantage.
And that moment, Adrian, is just been wiped out of the history books within the space of 5 or 6 seconds when they were checking with the VAR. I'm completely with you. What happened to, if in doubt, give the favour to the forward player? It's not like he's leaning or he's half a body offside. I mean, we're talking an inch at most.
We're talking a couple of shoe sizes.
I just think it's ridiculous, I really do, and it was all that Coventry deserved from that 60th minute till the final whistle that we've just had there. They've been absolutely incredible. Manchester United have got a lifeline here and still have a chance to get themselves to the final. They come out of this game with no credibility.
Let's go behind the goal. Dave Rowe, those Coventry fans behind you thought they'd won it, mate.
Well, they thought they'd won it. The players thought they'd won it. There were players celebrating all over the field. What I would say about the VAR, Adrian, is obviously they were checking it for a good couple of minutes. First time I've experienced this from down pitch side. Normally I'm in a commentary box watching replays, and I can now see why the fans complain about VAR, because nobody in this stadium had a clue what was going on. All they got was a big red graphic saying checking offside. They had no idea what the VAR were looking at, and all they got then was a graphic saying decision complete. So, you know, it may be correct, it may be Haji Wright's big feet, whatever, but supporters have got to be given more information as to what's going on.
I totally 100% concur with what you've just said, Dave Rowe. But we're preparing for a penalty shootout to decide the winner of what has been an epic semi-final. So penalties at Wembley, Mickey Gray. You got any advice for the takers?
Yeah, don't follow me. Stuart scored here, so you can ask him.
What would you say? Listen, back in '99, wasn't it? Playoff final, you missed. Charlton won the penalty shootout and got promotion. Was there something you did wrong that they shouldn't do wrong?
Look, Adrian, I think we just have a look at the centre circle now. Those players are out on their feet. I think you've just got to try and find or dig deep and find an extra 5% from that walk to the centre circle to the penalty spot. Have your mind made up. Don't get to the penalty spot and make your decision then. Have it made up and then just go through with it. And I think you've got more chance of scoring a goal with that in your mind, other than getting there and then thinking, right, which way is the goalkeeper going to dive?
I would say they played in a 3-all, you played in a 4-all, so you have an excuse. I think maybe you're a bit more defending to do in that one. Stuart Pearce, of course, your experience of penalty shootouts. What would your advice be to those players?
Well, it's difficult, really. You know, take your best penalty. Make sure that the coaching staff have got their best 5 penalty takers going up to take them. I'm sure they've done their homework. But at this stage, you almost feel sorry for Coventry, don't you, going into this? They felt as though they've won it. They've hit the underside of the crossbar. They've had 2 other chances that were sensational efforts as well. And we've been treated to an incredible game of football, and it's taken both sides to contribute to that.
Yeah, privileged to be here. We're getting ready for the first penalty, but there's no goalie at the moment, so you're not going to miss anything. Casemiro's going to take it. I'll be surprised if he can actually run up to the ball, but we'll see. That's going to be the first penalty to decide what has been an absolutely mind-blowing FA Cup semi-final live on Talksport. It's finished 3-3 after extra time, when Coventry thought they had it won, but VAR had other ideas. So 3-3 it is, going into this penalty shootout for the right to play Manchester City in the FA Cup final next month. And talking you through this penalty shootout, Mickey Gray, Stuart Pearce, who have experience of shootouts, and your commentator Jim Proudfoot.
Well, Manchester United's successful semi-final last year against Brighton came via a shootout. Casemiro took the first one that day. Dalot took the second. The other players who have taken penalties for Manchester United in shootouts before, who were still on the field, are Maguire and Fernandes. Coventry have got a lousy penalty shootout record. They've lost each of the last 4, including to Luton in the Championship playoff final last season. Darboe missed that day, no longer at the club. Golden and Sheaf, both on the field, both scored. So here's the first one. It's Casemiro. Oh, it's been saved by the diving Collins. As Casemiro went down the middle, and Collins dived to his right, but it's hit his foot. Oh, he got his hands to it and makes the save. Poor penalty from Casemiro, and it's advantage Coventry straight away.
Well, I don't think the goalie actually dived. To be fair to him, he done a couple of shimmies, stood his ground, and listen, poked both hands out to his right and stopped the ball. I think Casemiro was looking to go down straight down the middle, and the goalkeeper didn't fall for it.
So the boos and whistles from the Manchester United fans. Penalties being taken at that end of the ground. Haji Wright scored a nerveless penalty in stoppage time at the end of the 90, and he's first up for Coventry to give them the advantage. He went to the bottom right-hand corner in regulation play. Which way is he going now? Darts out to his left-hand side. He's gone the other way and put it in. And after a penalty apiece, it is 1-0 to Coventry.
Tell you what, that was as good a penalty as you're seeing there. Nerveless, absolutely nerveless. Great run up, sent the goalkeeper the wrong way, and pace, power, precision. Everything you want from a penalty.
It's just confidence. I think you can see the players as they're walking up to the penalty spot for Coventry, Stuart. They just look as if they actually want to take a penalty. I saw Casemiro walking up and he didn't want to be there. I've got a similar feeling for Diogo Dalot. He might put the ball in the back of the net, but just doesn't. I'm not feeling that confident.
Well, he went second and scored in the shootout in the semi-final last season. Going second again for United. Little stuttering run up, right-footed. It's a good penalty into the bottom left-hand corner. So Manchester United score with their second. It is 1-1, but it's still advantage Coventry City. Brad Collins, who's made one save. Nana, who has got a Cup Winners' medal to his name in his time in the Netherlands with Ajax. And he's just coming out to the penalty spot. The referee is just getting into retreat. All gamesmanship, of course. Just trying to do what they can to throw Victor Torp off his stride here.
There's a good penalty there by Darlow. Good precision, good pace, whipped it across his body.
Torp, who hit one of the most stunning volleys we've ever seen during regulation time. What can he do from the penalty spot? He runs up and hits it right-footed, and although it was high and his heart might have been in his mouth, it's gone in, lashed into the roof of the net, and it's still advantage Coventry. And Victor Torp, who thought he'd won it right at the end of extra time, keeps Coventry in front, 2-1.
Well, that was almost unstoppable, and to be fair, if it didn't hit the net the way it was rising, it would have probably stopped rolling in Neasden High Street.
Here's Christian Eriksen for Manchester United. 2 penalties apiece, it's 2-1 to Coventry. Boos and whistles from the Coventry fans away to our right. Eriksen up against Collins, waving his arms. Eriksen with a great penalty, bottom left-hand corner. Hit with real precision and emphatically dispatched spot kick. So it's 2-2, but still advantage Coventry City.
Yeah, Collins there decided to employ the same tactic as he did for Casemiro, hold his dive until the last possible minute, expecting something down the middle, and Eriksen wasn't buying that one.
Now, it looks like a slightly nervous walk forward from Callum O'Hare, bouncing the ball 2 or 3 times before he gets to the penalty spot. Onana taking up station just in the goal for a moment, and now he's on his line. It is O'Hare against Onana, who saved it, diving away to his right-hand side to negate the advantage of the Casemiro miss. So both sides have missed one of their first 3.
Yeah, you called it right, I think. O'Hare there was... put the ball on the spot, addressed it very quickly. His run-up was a little too quick. You've got to compose yourself, put the pressure back on the goalkeeper, take that extra second or 2 just to transfer the pressure. And credit to Onana, went the right way and got a good solid hand on it.
Bruno Fernandes has scored 5 of his 6 penalties this season. He missed against Chelsea. Well, he's going to be taking the 4th one for United. Very circumspect the way that he's just spotted the ball down. And it's a short run up right foot. It slots it into the bottom right-hand corner. And for the first time in this shootout, United lead. They're 3-2 up. Coventry still with a penalty in hand. Mickey?
I mean, how tense can this get, Jim? What I would say is Man United have now got themselves back in front in the penalty shootout. They're actually taking the penalties in front of their supporters. It's just incredible, it really is, when you think about how tense this game must have been for Coventry. Onana, I think, he's just been given... Did he get the yellow card? Is that his second yellow card, Jim?
It is, but they get wiped out after the game finishes, so he doesn't get sent off. He's got a yellow card for the shootout, but he isn't sent off. It's Sheaf to take this next one for Coventry. Scored in the playoff final shootout last year, and he's missed this one. He's blazed it over the bar. So Coventry have missed 2 in a row, and Manchester United now are on the brink of an all-Manchester final.
Well, I don't get that, really. Onana's been sledging all the way, and I don't mind a bit of that, but I can't see how you can get booked for the second time, Jim. I think that's absolutely ludicrous.
Wasn't it the Aston Villa game, I think? Wasn't it Martinez?
Absolutely, the other night.
Yellow card.
Yeah. So he got one during the game, he got another in the shootout. They are wiped out after 120 minutes with the yellow cards. So Onana has received 2 yellow cards but hasn't been sent off. The bottom line is that Rasmus Højlund has the chance to put Manchester United in the FA Cup final. Three, 4, 5 steps back towards the edge of the penalty area. Højlund scores this. United have won! And the roar tells you that it is an all-Manchester FA Cup final. The most heartbreaking defeat for Coventry. A game that United had won inside an hour. They threw it away. They thought they'd lost it, only to get a reprieve for the most tight of offside calls. And now, even having trailed in the shootout, they have prevailed. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And Manchester United have had a huge dollop of luck today. Boy, have they got away with that. Not to be for the Sky Blues. And we will see a repeat of last season's FA Cup final. Manchester United 3, Coventry 3 after extra time. And Manchester United have beaten Coventry 4-2 on penalties.
Well, it wasn't deserved, there's no doubt about that. And listen, United fans, you can hear them celebrating, and I understand why. They're through to an FA Cup final, but there's not a lot to shout about there, because that performance showed no backbone whatsoever from Manchester United. They're up against a side that's not even going to make the playoffs in the Championship, and they threw away a 3-goal lead with 20 minutes of the 90 left. And but for a marginal, very marginal offside call in extra time, Coventry will be heading to the FA Cup final. Their fans, the Coventry fans, are still waving their flags. They appreciate the efforts. There's still smiles among the Coventry fans as well. But I think for quite a while, that's going to hurt them deep inside. What they came so close to. They've just got to treasure the memories of what was an extraordinary effort when the game was lost at 3-0 after 70 minutes. For Stuart Pearce, it's Manchester United who are celebrating. We have a repeat of last year's Manchester Derby FA Cup final. But they're extremely fortunate, Man United, to be there, aren't they?
That is a big understatement. I think we've seen 2 semi-finals this weekend where the better sides have been knocked out, if I'm being honest with you, on what I've seen. Coventry, listen, let's tip our hat to United. However they've done it, they've got over the line, they're in a cup final and they're taking on their Manchester rivals. Coventry, the fans, the manager, the players have given us an absolute brilliant game. They've shown energy, they've shown drive, they've shown tenacity and never say die attitude. And for where Coventry have been over these last decade or so, I think this is a very proud moment for the football club.
Absolutely. Ben Sheaf, the captain, who missed the crucial one before Højlund converted to win it for United. Ben Sheaf, inconsolable Mickey Gray. A lot of the staff and other players have been around him, but he's absolutely distraught out there, and you can understand why.
Adrian, I mean, you feel for them, don't you? And obviously Ben Sheep will be feeling it more than everybody else, because it was his penalty that this has made Manchester United go to the final. And pardon the pun, but United have inched their way to that final, haven't they? And that's the way it's gone, because VAR have certainly been on their side late on in that game. Didn't deserve to go to penalties. Coventry deserved to win this game of football over 120 minutes. In a nutshell, that's Manchester United. For spells of 10 or 15 minutes, they look great, they look organised, everybody looks confident, they get themselves in some great positions and they can score goals. So in control for 60 minutes, and then something just goes off in their brains. And I talked about that in-game management, and I've seen it throughout the whole of the season. They don't know how to see games out, and that has been their problem under Erik ten Hag. The organisation of the team, the experienced guys in that starting 11 should have said, right, now this is time for us to calm this game down, see it out, make Coventry make more mistakes, and we'll punish them for that. It never happened. The game flipped, and Coventry from 60 minutes were absolutely outstanding.
They were, and you've got a feel for them, because they were on the brink. They thought they'd done it with that winner in the last minute of extra time, but ruled out for a very, very marginal offsides that some will agree with, some won't agree with, but history books will say Man United got through, winning 4-2 on penalties.